and hopefully we're live, possibly. Good evening everyone, Mike here, Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. It is Saturday, the 8th of February 2025. Had to look then, days seem to be going by. I can't believe it's February. I think I said this last stream, or did I? Can't remember, my chair's going the wrong way. Cat hair, lovely. I can't believe it's February already. What is going on? It's absolutely mad. Hopefully we're all having a fantastic Saturday evening or Sunday morning, or I don't know, whatever it is, wherever you are. Time differences and all that kind of stuff. Glad you could join us for the stream. If you're new here, this stream is kind of unpredictable, goes off the rails, and is basically not really a stream in the traditional sense of it. This stream is more of a kind of just a chit chat, get together. It's a social club, yeah. It's a geek social club. So for the Mike's Unboxing family, the Discord members, all the contributors, etc., all part of the community. This is basically, if they've got nothing to do on a Saturday night, this is where they hang out, talk trash, diss Nvidia, diss AMD, diss Intel, diss Dave, don't diss Dave, he's cute. Yeah, we just hang out and talk trash. So if you're new here and that's what you're into doing, then feel free to do so. Also in the stream, I am going to try and actually achieve something which I've been meaning to do for a little while now, and that is to upgrade the little mini-itx PC, which was, the case itself was 3D printed kindly by Patrick Lebel, one of our long-time members and viewers. Thank you very much, Patrick. And it's had a few different iterations, mostly around the same sort of spec. But I've come to the realization that I don't really want to put a graphics card in here, even though you can put a small graphics card in here. I don't want to use a graphics card. And I've been using the Intel 12400, which has been okay, but the onboard graphics leave a little bit to be desired. Some games are okay. I'm using this on a 1080p 42-inch TV in the front room. So yeah, it's like a 12-year-old TV at least. So I'm not expecting magical high fidelity, but I would like to run some of the games at native resolution, 1080p, even though at a 42-inch resolution, the dots are so big that you can probably see them from outer space, but that's another story. I don't like dropping down to 720p for some games just to give the kind of reasonably playable frame rates. So I figured it's a good time as any to, basically what I'm going through at the moment is, because of what's going on in the industry, it's all a little bit boring, everything's massively overpriced, so I'm kind of just going through the motions of trying to just thin out the stock that I've got here and all the bits and pieces that we reviewed. I used to be pretty good with it actually. I would get stuff in, review it, do a build, sell the build, buy more stuff, and just, you know, keep the churn going. But recently, especially with the weather and this, that and the other, there's been so many things going on here at home that it's just been hard work to get anything done. So we've made less videos, which some of you may have noticed already. So we're going to a Monday, Wednesday and Friday release schedule at the moment for new videos. That is going to start building back up again. This is just a temporary thing. I will try and do the daily uploads as we build up a bit of a buffer or a bit of a backlog, or when there's actually some interesting stuff to actually cover, which doesn't cost you a kidney or basically having to sell your butt, so to speak. Thank you for the super chat there from Inspector X, €2.49. Thank you very much. And it says, what do you think about RX 7800 XT these days for €450? I think if that's brand new, that's probably not a terrible price. I think in the UK, they tend to go somewhere around the sort of £430, taking into consideration the exchange rate, local taxes, availability, etc. I don't think that is an awful deal. It's a reasonable deal. It isn't, well, depending on the model as well. That is going to be a lot of the factor into it. If it's a nice triple fan model, then yeah, maybe it's a good shout. Some of the entry-level Sapphire cards, like the MBA one, which was the kind of like the reference card with the twin fans, those can go now for around about, yeah, about 430, 420, somewhere thereabouts, although prices are increasing, and due to the goings on in the world, those prices are likely to start shooting up. So potentially you'll have a good deal there. Hard one to answer, at least to give you a definitive answer, but thank you for the donation anyway, and hopefully I've answered the question slightly.
Do the other one as well.
There was another super chat as well that came in a little bit earlier before we started the stream, so we'll acknowledge that as well. That was from Rick H. Thank you very much, Rick. $2 there. Disco, disco, disco. I do miss Bob. Bless him, wherever he is. Bob, if you're up there, we miss you. If you're down there, Bob, well, you should have known better. You got to make light of these things. So anyway, yeah, good evening to everyone. Hopefully you're all having a good time. So basically, yeah, that explains it. I'm trying to thin out some of the stock. I've got a lot of stuff here which I basically never use because it's just me and Kath, and there's only so much PC stuff we can actually physically use ourselves.
And we've only got 6 cats for beds.
We've only got 6 cat beds, so we need some more empty boxes for the cats to sleep in. So yeah, just clearing out stuff. Those of you that watched the stream last weekend, I think it was last weekend, when we built the little ASRock B650M-X Wi-Fi motherboard into that nice little system with the 7700 Ryzen. That was listed, I think, on Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, and sold for the full asking price of £800 on Thursday. I think, was it Thursday or Friday, Kath? Thursday it would have been, wouldn't it?
It definitely went Friday.
Yeah, it would have been Thursday. So yeah, within 48 hours it was done, dusted, sold. And yeah, so very happy that that has now gone on to a new home. Funnily enough, actually, the person or the people who bought it were some, I believe they're brothers, and they were buying it for a 70th birthday present for a family member. Didn't say who it was, whether it was their mum, their dad, uncle, auntie, whatever. They might have done, I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, they want to start playing Flight Sim. So fantastic little PC for them to do that with, and yeah, they paid the full asking price. It was listed on Facebook Marketplace for £800, and they didn't argue. They just said, "Yep, we'll give you the £800 for it. Can we come around and have a look and take it away?" It's like, "Yep, you're more than welcome to do so." So yeah, I'm glad that's gone. That's cleared up a little bit of space, and was one of those things which you kind of just, a lot of things here just hang around and I don't do anything with them. And it seems a real shame to be buying these parts or to be sent parts and just for them to sit here collecting dust. And actually, let me know in the chat. This is a genuine question for those of you that are out there watching, and just to make sure that you're actually awake and listening. What do you think about other YouTubers and other content creators in general that kind of hoard all this stock? And you look in the shelves in the background of their videos and there's just little racks and racks and racks of graphics cards and motherboards and all that kind of stuff, which was very much in vogue for kind of YouTube 4 or 5 years ago. But these days, do you think that is a little bit of a tasteless thing to just be showing off all the stuff that they've got? I don't know. I've never
had a bit of a thing about that.
I don't like it. I think really parts shouldn't sit around on shelves. They should be in the hands of gamers. And if anything, the recent Nvidia shortages would only highlight that. Maybe if Dave, I'm getting cat's hairs everywhere. It would be great. You imagine how much easier the stock shortage would be if YouTubers sold off their old stock, because they don't need to keep it. And when they do these like revisit reviews, does anybody care anymore? Like, a graphics card is going to be 5 or 10% faster than the last one. Whoopie-doo. Who cares? It's going to be good in some games, it's going to be less good in other games. Again, who cares? Benchmarking and comparing old graphics cards against new graphics cards, I find really pointless, and pretty much most people do what I do, I think, for review videos. They look at the timestamps and they look at the games tested, they maybe look at their individual game, and then they just go to the conclusion at the end. Is this graphics card worth buying? Or is this motherboard worth buying? Is this processor worth buying? That's what most people care about. Like, especially if you're shopping. You don't want all the faff of all the kind of nitty gritty. It's just like, is it worth doing overall? So yeah, I think that's what they should do. All of the YouTubers that have been sent review samples should basically put them up for sale, I think. I think that makes sense and would alleviate the some of the shortages. Like, what YouTuber needs 8 5080s? And I know there's quite a few that have. Why do they need 8? Just keep one, like a reference card. Or one MSRP card. That's all you need for comparisons. Anyway, moving on. Let's see what people are saying there. So Charles Ballard says, agreed. John David Sullivan says, I think it's a bit selfish. Zero Defects says, yeah, hoarding is bad. I know firsthand, and I ain't a tech tuber. Okay. O'Reilly says hoarding stock is fine if it's technically empty cardboard boxes for display only, or old parts or unpopular parts for making content, and being used as an example. Yeah, definitely. Nick Barnes says review channels will say they keep them for cross-checking with newer. I know, but it's like, do we really care? Honestly, like with the absolutely tiny fragments of differences between graphics cards these days, literally like a couple of percent if you're lucky, do you really need all those graphics cards? Just like keep a Founders Edition or an MSRP edition, or maybe an MSRP and a highest performing one. But you don't need to keep like 8 of them, 10 of them. What's the point? They're just collecting dust. Nuts. Rasher says the 5000 series is a meh affair. I agree. Zonai says depends if they use the cards for comparisons and benchmarks. It does, but it doesn't. They don't need that. Like, you don't need 8 cards, or 10 cards, or 15 cards, or however many they got. You really don't.
Hello, Angel.
Aletta says I don't care about them having too many parts. I only want winter to be over. Winter storm tonight and several more coming this month.
It'll be over soon.
It won't be long.
Already.
We're way past Hump Day, which was basically January in terms of the winter. Well, at least for us in the northern hemisphere. In the southern hemisphere, screw you guys because you have great weather. I don't care. But here it's horrible. In fact, I think here at the moment it's about 3 degrees. I will check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, there we go. So yeah, 3 degrees currently is the daily high, and 3 degrees is the daily low. And tomorrow is highs of 5, lows of 1, and Monday is highs of 3, lows of 2. Tuesday highs of 3, lows of 2 also, and Wednesday highs of 5. Wow, what a shitty week.
But you look at it tomorrow, it'll be totally different.
Yeah, it'll be. They'll get that wrong anyway. Anyway, moving on. Where have we got? Greg says, how many graphics cards do you have, Mike? I currently, well, in use or spare? Because that is going to be the kind of like the defining question. But in terms of graphics cards, I've got one in my video editing PC. I need that. I've got one in the streaming PC. I need that. Kath's got a graphics card in her PC.
Thanks, Welly Bob.
Thanks, Welly Bob. It's GTX, not Welly Bob.
Oh no, that's William Bodie.
William Bodie. It's a GTX 1060, 6 gig. So not exactly kind of like high-end stuff.
Welly Bob gave me the processor.
Under the desk here currently, I have the Intel Arc B580, which I am still in the process of doing the reviews of. I have a Palette Jetstream 4070 Ti Super, still in the box. Not touched that one yet. Well, other than to show you guys in the previous stream. Not got around to looking at that one yet. That I will be getting rid of. That has got to go. Because I don't need it. Because I've basically got the same thing in my other PC. Hence what I just said. And I also have, for comparisons, and also because I haven't been able to sell it, is a 7800 XT. Which is basically the same as the 4070 in there. Kind of. So, yeah, that needs to go as well. That's next on the chopping block. I think that is it. I thought there was another one. Oh, I've got the 4080 as well. But that has got to go into my PC at some point anyway. So I have got maybe 1 spare graphics card. Maybe 2, you could argue. Which isn't a lot. I'm not exactly holding up the PC industry with that. That says it's 1 degree C here, going down to -3 C.
Ask him. You can kind of reach over, you won't be on camera.
Rasher says it's winter. Hello. Yeah, it is. I hate winter though. Bloody cat hairs. Dave gave me a cuddle before I started the stream, and yeah, they're not going out much, so they're just furry little things.
But they're keeping you warm.
Yeah,
They
are putting layers on me. Glenn Hathaway's in the chat. Hi, Mike and Kath. Hope you and the family are all well. All my love. Bless you. Thank you, Glenn. How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing all right. I keep on meaning to phone you, and I was thinking I should phone Glenn to see if he's all right. Check everything's all good. So yeah, nice one, Glenn. Good to see you. Jginyue says, I have 2 PCs but only 1 graphics card. Excellent. Alessa says there's the chance of thunder snow tonight. Oof. Not keen on that at all. There's Dave. Say hello to the people, Dave. Yeah, the people. Oh, he wants Gran.
Come on then. Put your sister down on my feet.
Rick Way Bob says GPUs are insane. I've been offered £1,200 cash for my 4080 Super FE. I would take that. I would take it. 1,200 quid. Because I think you paid 1,000 for it new, or just under maybe. 200 quid extra, and you've used it for a bit. Seems like a plan.
Come on.
Yeah. David Andrew says morning from Australia. 6:40 a.m. and it's 19 degrees and it feels like 21. Nice. I would like that here right now. We were in a
I wouldn't have minded it in the summer.
we were having a discussion last night on the Discord, and it all went a little bit weird, as it sometimes does on the Discord. We don't really have any kind of restrictions as such. You can speak your mind, say what you like. If it's stupid or whatever, then so be it. It doesn't make a difference. I think that's a very important thing for the world in general. Freedom of speech, I am very much an advocate of it, even if that speech is hurtful, hateful, stupid, whatever. People have got the right to say things, but then you've also got the right to vilify them if they say stupid stuff. So I think it's a two-way street. People can say what they like. If you don't like it, you don't have to. You can turn off or not listen or whatever. Anyway, yeah, we're having a discussion, and I was saying I would gladly have some global warming right here, right now, because I'm sick to death of this cold weather. It's driving me insane.
We've had no summer for 2 years.
We've not had a proper summer for a good 2 years now. We need some sunshine. So please, Bill Gates, if you're listening, please can you stop spraying the shit in the skies to block out the sun? I know you're doing it for a good reason, allegedly, but please can you stop it? I want some sunshine. Pure, unadulterated, blue sky, full-on sunshine, so I can turn back into Indian Mike again, because this is rubbish. I don't like it. I need some colour. Anyway, there you go.
And we haven't seen Dave with a suntan yet.
Yeah, Dave needs to get a suntan also.
Glenn will catch up with you later in the week, he says.
David Anderson says chemtrails are BS. Stop spreading BS. Well, chemtrails are a thing, and you can look them up anywhere on, even on Google. Just look up geoengineering. It's a thing. There's patents out for it. You don't have patents for things that don't exist. So you can call it BS if you want, but you only have to look up. Open your eyes. It's there. You can see it, and you can read about it. Even the American government have got active programs in geoengineering.
Haven't they even banned it in Tennessee?
Yeah, in fact, yeah. Tennessee, I believe it was, have actually banned geoengineering or chemtrailing. And why would you ban something if it doesn't exist? I think that's a hard thing to do. But anyway, you're more than welcome to your opinion, but I'm also welcome to mine. O'Reilly says, Mike, God bless you and everything you say. Thank you. God would bless me for saying things regardless if they're right or wrong, because God is an accepting God. And he likes people who are real and make mistakes. But learn from them, hopefully.
Kaiser Solo.
Kaiser Solo, remember the floods? The floods in Dubai. I don't.
Do you know?
Oh, engineered. Maybe, possibly. That's the thing. The world these days, everyone's got an opinion. And like, you can say to someone that you have an opinion, or maybe you question a certain thing which is a mainstream thought. Used to be years ago, that's what politicians would have done to them. So they'd go on an interview and they would say something, and the interviewer, or the journalist, as they used to be known back then, would question them and call them out and say, well, how is that done? Or why is this done? Or how have you got proof of
It
it?
was pretty mainstream that they fly seed over there.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
Because it's desert, isn't it?
I got things in my eyes. Anyway, yeah, but these days it's just like they don't get asked anything. So we have to. Even if we're just curious. Ask questions. Question everything.
Patrick's in.
Hey Patrick, how you doing? Viali says, Mike, you're always right except when you're wrong. I'm definitely wrong. I am wrong many times. I am always 50-50, hopefully. Serge. Now, is your name Serge as in like Serge on Beverly Hills Cop? Serge, or whatever. Not Surge, it sounds like a detergent. I think that's the phrase that was used in the film. Bloody cat hairs in my eyes. I have to start getting PPE whenever the cats are around. Sir says, hello Mike, your video on the Thermalright Frozen Warframe 360 AIO really helped me, even though that thing is difficult AF to screw on. Yeah, it can be. It can be quite difficult, yeah. Especially in colder places. If it's a nice warm place, it's not too bad.
Hot chocolate.
Kath's got a hot chocolate, whilst I'm slaving away.
Thank you, Angel. One as well.
David Thompson says, I banned honest politicians from my home. They don't exist. So it is possible.
Apparently they do.
Okay, Rick H says, I'm 5W20. That's quite thin. Serge says, Serge like the detergent. Excellent stuff. Oh dear. Ashley Strachan's in the house, says, hey all, food eaten, drink poured, settled in for the evening.
Yeah, sorry
nice
about
one.
that
Oh,
I don't do Nestle.
I just noticed the...
It's an old one.
There's a PayPal come in. PayPal donation. Thank you very much from... what's that? Jan Dammer.
You know who that is?
Oh, I do know who that is, yeah, sorry. 1996. Back in 1996, I had hair.
That's when we got married.
Yeah, we did. We got married then.
Wow. You
Wow.
passed your driving test, didn't you?
I did. I passed my driving test that year also. Stop giving out personal information. Someone's going to clone me. Turn me into a...
already have, haven't they? From the money me.
Thank you very much, Jan.
Dave, you can't do the light.
Much appreciated.
Ow. Can't bite me because you can't do the light.
Bendy Ink Machine says, ooh, we all need hot chocolate. Cream with a side of hot chocolate, says Dave. Kaiser says, are you building with the Night Devil tonight? I fancy a build in the new CH170 tower with digital readout. Is that the Deep Cool? Ashley Strachan says, hair is overrated. Tell my back that.
Your ears.
And my ears. And my ass.
Have you combed it today?
I haven't combed my ass today, no. I just let it go au natural. Oh dear. Glenn says, I'm on a Series 4 binge of Stranger Things with my eldest daughter tonight, so I'll be in and out. No worries. Cheers, Glenn. Mark Bray says, did you pass first time, Mike? Yes, I did. I did a... kill... He's biting the fucking cables.
David.
Dave!
You have to go there.
Well, don't put him in front of the camera. Is he visible?
Hello.
There he is. He's just on the side.
You have to move over a bit. I have to get.
That's going to make it worse. Can Maisie move over that way a bit more?
Yeah.
There's 3 cats in a line. It's like a bloody queue for the bus. You've got Maisie, you've got Flame, and then we've got Dave in a box. Now
I've got Candy on my chair.
Candy's on the chair.
Poppy in the window. I don't know where Otis is gone.
Hey Gamer Road YouTube, how you doing? Sir Larry the Cat says natural parting though. You're damn right.
Ew.
Serge give us $5. Thank you, Serge. It says, but thanks so much for the help, Mike. Great videos. Thank you. Appreciate that. I honestly, when we're making the videos, I do worry that they're not useful, or I'm just making a video sometimes for the sake of making a video. And I do wonder if it does help people, so it's nice that you are getting some benefit from it. That's what it's all about. So otherwise I end up just sat here talking to myself. Actually, Strachan says, I actually practiced on the game hard driving in manual mode for a couple of weeks before driving and passed my test after 8 lessons. Thanks, Atari. Yeah, I was very similar. Yeah, hard driving came out, I think hard driving came out in the, what would it be, about 89, 90 maybe? And it was one of those arcade games where you literally had a gear stick and kind of drove like a real car over almost like a stunt track type thing, like a circuit but with a few jumps in. And yeah, I was a very similar thing. I didn't really want to drive at all, but Kath's mum and dad bought me an intensive driving course for my 21st birthday, and my driving test was on my 21st birthday.
Amazing.
So it's like, this is going to be either a good day or a bad day. Anyway, there you go.
It's not a wee.
What on earth is that?
That's amazing. Go to the toilet.
Oh, Struth. Rasher says, I got married in 1995, a year before you, and passed my test when I was 21, a long time ago. It seems like a long time. Yeah, 21 seems like a long, long way away. Matthew Day says, I thought Dave just killed it. Turns out it was me.
Fred. Random Muller.
Where's Poppy? Poppy's in the other room. She's let down in front.
She's here.
Oh no, sorry. No, she's in the windowsill.
Did you hear me say Fred?
No. What?
Oh, she can't jump over. Come on, Mabes.
What? She need cleaning?
No.
You sure?
He's okay.
Glenn says he passed first time, both times. Arnold G says, Mike, have you tried Flash BIOS on the new 800 series boards with GPT NTFS from BIOS screen? I don't think recovery does. I'm not too that's a little bit garbled for me this time of night on a Saturday. Have you tried BIOS Flash? Yeah, I'm not too sure. I think there are some boards which will now support NTFS file partition for BIOS flashing, more so in the BIOS itself rather than doing the USB flashback BIOS. I'm not too sure exactly what you're saying there though, but feel free to repost that one. Try and just lay it out a little bit different so my tiny brain can process it.
Did you hear me say Fred?
I did, but I didn't hear anything else. I can't see Fred.
It's up quite a way.
That's it, Fred. What time? Time stamp?
Don't know, I'm doing too much at once.
All right. Oh, Fred. Fred is, hi, can I buy an Acer Predator 300 for €200? Is it worth? I honestly have no idea. I have no idea what the Acer Predator 300 is or what it would be worth. Best thing to do, post it on our Discord in one of the PC build advice, maybe. Post it in there or even in general chat, and we'll try and have a look. Or I'll try and have, if you post it in there, I'll try and get it up on the screen in a little while.
I've posted one in Discord.
Mick Woods, how you doing, Mick? I finally took the plunge and subscribed to YouTube Premium. Got fed up with ads 1 minute into videos and interrupting live streams too. I'll be honest with you, I don't like Google. I don't like Alphabet, the company in general. They do some weird shit. But YouTube is basically the de facto place to go for this type of content and for just entertainment in general, I think. So I actually would be very tempted to pay for YouTube Premium myself. I keep on thinking I should do it, get a premium family pack. I hate adverts as much as you lot even. And yeah, it is a real pain. So, well, thank you in advance for using YouTube Premium. and watching the streams and all the contributions, because it all goes towards helping us keep the lights on, or in this instance, keeping the lights off, because you've sent a super chat. So there we go, Mick. Thank you very much. Sent in a, what's that, £10? £10 super chat. Thank you very much, Mick. Much appreciated. Happy days, and hopefully you're well and keeping warm. It's not very warm these days. Evening, Matt, says someone to someone. Who's Matt? Matt Parker. Oh, Matthew Parker says, love the Superman lamp. Where did you get it from? I bought 3 of them at the same time from a company called Geek Store. I don't think they exist anymore, or at least if they do, they don't exist in the kind of the same way. So these were £4.99 each, so £4.99, and I had a Superman one, a Stormtrooper one, and a Superman, Stormtrooper, and Batman. So yeah, bought one of each, £15 in total, plus about £3 shipping, I think, so £18. They're actually not too bad, but the trouble is they are using a kind of like a neon lamp, so they do actually, well, they don't get warm as such, but the transformer does. The transformer seems to be pretty inefficient, so it doesn't really deliver current particularly well. But yeah, they're pretty good. I think I've glued it in now, because these actually just pull out, but they kept on popping out for some reason, because the springs were like pushing them out. Anyway, I digress. The Stormtrooper one, I think, was the second one to break. I might even have that somewhere still. It used to just flicker on and off. The Batman one was the first one to go. That was because I dropped it. But yeah, they're pretty good. I don't think you can get them anymore. I'm not sure of the brand, so you could look it up. Actually, I could unplug it, couldn't I, and have a look. So if you wanted to check, you could probably still find them on a place like AliExpress or something. So these are made by... doesn't say. Oh, a licensed product of Groovy UK. So if you look for Groovy UK and then the lamps, they've got the trademark DC Comics on there, etc. This is not a toy. Output 12 volts, 300 milliamps. Oh, the model number 91083, I think that is. I should put that on the screen actually, because lots of people ask about this. So you could probably, from that, I'm not sure if that's going to focus. Maybe it will. You might have to take a quick screenshot or something. Is that visible, Kath? Can you see it?
My computer's all out of date. It's about to go to Discord.
Okay. Anyway, there you go. There's the information. So if you want to, screen cap that, and you can do your searches. So yeah, Groovy UK was the kind of the UK distributor of these. The model numbers on there. You might well be able to get them under different branding. But yeah, they were originally from geekstore.co.uk, which I think then got bought by geekstore.com. It's all very messy. I think that's why they were clearing them out, because they were basically getting bought out at the time. You might even find, if you search it on UK Hot Deals, I think that's where I found it originally. If you just look for Superman lamp, you might be able to kind of trace it backwards from there. Anyway, half of you don't care about that, so...
We've done a video on them, so I might have links in there.
Yeah, that's true. Matthew Day says, oh, real neon, not LED strip fake. No, there's no... It is actually... well, it's either like... what do they call it? Electroluminescent fibers or something, like that type of thing. But I don't think it is, because when you pull that out, there is like filaments on it, almost like you get in like an oven filament for heating. It's got 2 big metal prongs which fit into there. So I'm guessing those are kind of anodes, are they? Or cathodes? I don't know. I'm not an electrics person. Anyway, there you go. Right. I think that is pretty much everything up to date. Yeah, so I sold the PC. Excellent news. That was great. So put that money to one side. And I've been trying to invest in cheap and cheerful motherboards, which I think is actually, I enjoy it more. Let me know in the comments. I said this a couple of times in previous videos, and more so in last week's stream, and more so the last couple of weeks. It's just making me think about it more and more. Like with graphics cards getting to be £1,000 for a graphics card, even ones which aren't high end, technically, like they're kind of upper mid tier. It just seems bananas to me, and I'm over it. And in fact, like I said, I downgraded my PC from 13900K with a 4080 to a 14700 with a 4070, because it's kind of, I don't need the extra power really. It does what I need it to do. I'm just spending more money and using more electricity for basically totally imperceivable improvements in performance. So I thought, well, what's the point? So my 13900 and the motherboard sold, that's gone as well. Having somewhat of a clear out at the moment, so that's gone. But this week, I actually bought two nice cheap boards. The one you saw last week, which was, well, yeah, recently I should say, I bought some nice cheap boards. So last week we had the ASRock, the B650 M-X Wi-Fi, which was awesome. This week, one you'll be seeing a lot more of is this one. So this is the B650. This is the Gaming X AX V2 from Gigabyte. And probably if you've watched the channel long enough, you know I'm not a huge fan of Gigabyte boards. But I've had a couple recently, and they've made some changes to how their software works. It's the Gigabyte Control Center. It's actually much better than what it was previously with all the kind of little apps. They seem to be steering away from that stuff now, so it's just like a nice cohesive center. A lot similar to MSI Center, which again, most of you will know that I like a lot. This particular board is basically got pretty much everything that you need and nothing that you don't. And it comes in at a decent price. So you're looking at about £150, £140 for this at the moment, which I think is actually a fair price for a motherboard these days, especially for what I would consider to be a reasonably mid-range motherboard. So this has got Wi-Fi 6E, you've got 3 M.2 slots, you've got heat sinks everywhere, BIOS flashback button, you've got a diagnostic D-LED for boot failures, etc. You've got an upgraded VRM over the original version, so that's why this is the V2, because you've got a better VRM on here. You've also got potentially upgraded Wi-Fi. The previous version was using a Realtek chip. The new versions are using, in some regions are still on Realtek, but in other regions they're either using the AMD RZ616, which is pretty good, or you might get the old faithful, which is going to be the Intel AX210. All of which great Wi-Fi 6E chipsets, all supporting all the kind of latest features and stuff. You don't really need Wi-Fi 7 at the moment. It's not widespread enough. And for those in the UK, Wi-Fi 7 is pointless because it just can't penetrate walls. So the signal goes about that far and then it drops off massively. So I think this is a good shout. There's going to be loads of reviews and stuff going on this, and we will be doing another build with this coming up very soon. Potentially we'll be doing it in the Antec C3 or C8, one of the two. I think it's the C3. We'll be getting that very shortly, so that'll be interesting. So keep your eyes out for that. But this more budget orientated stuff, I think makes a massive amount of sense. Pair this with a Ryzen 7 7700 for like 140 quid off AliExpress, and you've got a really, really good powerful system for like 300 quid. You can't go wrong, you really can't. Yes, Kath? Old Man Withers, good to see you getting back to the budget stuff. That was what got me watching the channel in the first place. Thank you. I know, exactly. It's just insanity. The new stuff, I do find some of the new stuff interesting, I'll be honest with you, and we will be having some stuff like that on the channel at some point, no doubt, some higher end stuff, but I'm trying to make it so like if we review a motherboard, it's going back to our roots. It's going to be something that I would genuinely go out and buy with the mind of either keeping for myself long term, or that would be cheap enough that I could put it into like a resell or flip build without having to lose a load of money on it. Because that's my outlook. It's always been my outlook. And I want to get back to that. Nick says, Mike, will we be looking at AM4 boards? Definitely we will be. I probably won't be looking back at Intel's LGA 1700 unless there's some significant price drops. But AM4, I think, yeah, definitely still has a place. And like if you can pick up a nice B550 Gaming Plus from MSI for about 100 quid, throw it on like a 5600, it's happy times. You can play games on there, it's going to be enjoyable. If you want to spend a bit more, get like a 5700X 3D, although those are getting a bit pricey now. So yeah, I think definitely AM4, there is still room for AM4, and I'm still looking for AM4 boards to review. If there's ones that we haven't done, which makes sense financially now, and I've got a nice feature set, etc., then sure, we will be taking a look at them. It isn't going to be a focus because we've pretty much exhausted most of the AM4 boards over the last 5 years or 6 years. Dave, what do you want? You're being annoying now. You are. You want to go out. Go out.
It's because it's raining, I think.
It's raining and the cats don't like going out when it's wet.
Do you want to go in the rain?
Aletta says AM4 for life. It's good. Bendy Inc says, with the cost of PC parts these days, the budget stuff is what a lot of us are having to look at. Yeah, totally. I totally agree, and I totally get it. Like, some of you may think, oh, you're a YouTuber or whatever, and you got all this money or whatever. It couldn't be further from the truth. It really couldn't. And even if I had the money, something which actually Welly Bob said earlier in the Discord, which resonated with me massively, and hopefully will resonate with you out there as well. Basically saying that if he had all the money in the world and didn't have any worries with money, was pretty loaded, he wouldn't still buy a 5090 purely on principle, or wouldn't buy a sculpt graphics card purely on principle. And I'm the same. I wouldn't do it. I won't do it. And I'm not going to try to influence, which I hate that word really. I'm not going to use this channel or our community to try and influence you to do that. Because if I wouldn't do it, why should I expect you to do it? Just to generate me some affiliate revenue. It's bullshit. Not doing it. It's not going to happen. And I actually, this week I've become very depressed. I'm smiling when I'm saying that, but it's true. I am. Because I'm watching a lot of my peers on YouTube, and it's just constant barrage of this bullshit. You got to have a 9800X 3D, or you got to have this motherboard, or you got to have a 5080 or 5090. It's like, just no. I'm honestly, some of them I've watched and I'm ashamed to be in the same category as them, because it's just outright shilling. Yeah, they might be interested in it, but the reality is it's so freaking expensive. Like, a graphics card costs more than what some people earn in a month. More than a car, more than the cost of their first car. That is not right. And we shouldn't be encouraging that kind of behaviour at all. It just makes no sense at all.
Just food.
Dutch Jan says, if I have all the money in the world, 5090 goes SLI. The thing is, you say that, but most of the people, I think, in the channel, or at least in the chat at the moment, maybe those of you who are watching on catch-up, if you had a ridiculous amount of money, you probably wouldn't do it, because you'd then think, actually, I don't need to. Why bother? It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. But if you want to do it, that's fine. Jay Gordon says, I hate that they keep on quoting MSRP. It's a myth. Yeah. There's a couple of YouTubers and a couple of online publications which have done reviews, which have been actually highlighted in the Google News feed for 5080s at MSRP, and talking about them, and like, this is why I bought a 5080 at MSRP. It's like, you didn't, because no one did. There's like less than 1% of users that managed to get one. So you're it's talking about unobtainium, stuff that does not exist. It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. Rick H says, I don't like Hardware Unboxed, unsubscribed. To be fair, Hardware Unboxed, I watch.
I like the accent.
Because I like the accents, I like them in general. I think, yeah, they like all the other kind of upper tier YouTubers. They've all got onto that kind of bandwagon of like, they go to CES, they see all this cool stuff, they get sent it for reviews, so clearly they're going to review it and they're going to talk about it, and it's going to be the focus of their channel. But if they actually had to go out of their way, take money out of their own pockets and go and buy these things, I would pretty much guarantee they wouldn't do it themselves. Someone who actually I would give kudos to, who I wouldn't normally, but Steve from Gamers Nexus, because Steve from Gamers Nexus, generally they buy in all their stuff. Now, obviously you can say, well, kind of viewers paying for that because of it's a company, but regardless. It's kind of, they buy in a lot of their stuff anyway. But Steve's own PC, he doesn't just take parts off the shelf. He buys his parts, or if something's been like sold or got rid of, whatever. I think his PC was, until very recently, was probably running on like a AMD FX system. So yeah, kudos to him. He doesn't just spend money ridiculously on graphics cards. I suppose he doesn't need to, but the fact that he doesn't, or at least he says he doesn't, I thought was quite good. Danielle Emberley says, when I put together a PC, I tend to look for the financial sweet spot when it comes to dollars and performance, best performance per dollar. I think that is that's the sensible thing to do. That is why, like the mainstream stuff, like things like the 4060, 4070 type range, and the kind of RX 7800 XT or the RX 6800, that sort of level, those are the kind of the bang for buck parts. Or if you're looking towards the lower end, you're looking at things like the RX 6600, which for like a couple of £100 brand new, a lot of performance for the money. Like basically not far off what a 1080 would be. So yeah, it's pretty decent stuff. I'm the same. CPU wise, I wouldn't buy a 5800X3D because there's the 5700X3D, which is much cheaper and much cooler and basically the same within spitting distance. So yeah, I would agree with that. The sweet spot is kind of where I like to be. Aletta says, I like most of the people from the top tech channels, but unsubbed due to lack of interest in the newest tech. Yeah, I know exactly how you feel.
What is the best ITX motherboard for a 9800X3D? Price doesn't matter.
What was that? Where? Sorry, what, when? Where?
I am crazy. Puppy.
Zion the Crazy. Question, what is the best ITX motherboard for 9800X3D? I honestly don't know. I've never used a 9800X3D, so it's not really my kind of my wheelhouse, so to speak. So I would probably look at maybe something like the, I think MSI do the B850 Edge, or the B850i Edge, which appears to be a very high-end board for the ITX form factor. So probably worth looking at that. No doubt there'll be an Asus Z870i, but yeah, I wouldn't know a specific board off the top of my head.
Also, have you seen the case MD280 Pro?
No. MDA, no.
280 Pro.
Who makes that? I have no idea. Sam Luce says, hi Mike, do you know if 12 volt high power cables are universal? I have a Lian Li PSU. I was looking at getting the Corsair 90-degree cable for it. Yes, they are, but just make sure that if you get the right angled one, you make sure you get either a right angle up or right angle down. Otherwise it will maybe look a bit silly. Funny enough, I did this yesterday. Our son, his PC's got a thermal take power supply, and it was one of the very first 12 volt high power PSUs that came out, and he's been having problems with the PC, and in fact I think I've still got the cable is behind me. Yes, there it is. So this was one of the very early ones that Thermaltake did, and with the kind of the mesh around the outside and the kind of the band around there, which made it actually really stiff, so you couldn't really bend it. So yeah, he's been having problems with his 4080, with it randomly just turning off. These were only the 450 watt cables as well, which is what it's supposed to be for that power supply, so that's fine. Even though it has got all 4 pins connected, which means it technically is a 600. But anyway, long story short, we bought some replacement cable from Easy DIY, I think it was, on Amazon. Got the white ones, which are a bit more flexible, and put it in last night, and so far not a single problem. So very happy with that. But yeah, effectively the 12 volt high power, they are all compatible. If you've got a PSU which says it's got the new one, the 6+2 or 6x2, the power supply won't be any different. It's the graphics card end which will be different. So it'll have a slightly different connector.
Corsair 450 watt and 600 watt 12 VH PWR cables were the same.
I can't even see it.
Right,
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. Dave Aiken says, yeah, the Corsair 450 watt, 650 watt, 12 watt high power cables were the same. Yeah, it's weird that, isn't it? James Messina says, NVIDIA going to win everyone back with better deals with more VRAM with refresh and 24-bit 3 gig VRAM chips. Works every time. Oh yeah, people will still buy it because people are stupid. Well, that's harsh, but people are easily manipulated, let's say. Ashley says, I love hunting for cheap quality items for my PC and watching it tranks most AAA games. I can honestly see, I can't honestly see a single use for a 4090 or 5090. AAA games are far and few between. Actually, yeah, there's not really, I keep on finding this, if I got like a few minutes or I'm just feeling pissed off and I just want to blow off some steam, play some games or something, I keep on playing the same 3 or 4 games. So it's Rocket League, CS2, Fortnite. And sometimes I might mix things up a little bit with maybe an older Batman title. Maybe some Dead Island 2. But that's about it. So there's like 3 games really that I've got a gaming PC for. Seems a bit stupid. But then at least I can use it whenever I want to, unlike those of you with PlayStations. Sorry, had to say it. I know it's too early. Is PlayStation Network back up yet? Or is it going to be another kind of 48-hour thing? So I'm just reading ex-Mouse Hunters stuff on there. Right, what else have I missed? Danny says Kingdom Come Deliverance. I'll be honest with you, a lot of those games like Red Dead Redemption 2, I bought that and I got bored of it within probably less than half an hour. It might have been an hour. I just ended up walking through the snow and getting really bored and then shooting someone and thinking, this sucks. It's basically, it seems like one massive like cut screen sample thing was like, God, this is really slow. It was like being on one of those kiddies dodgems or one of those fairground rides that kids go on where it's on rails and you just like going around at like 2 miles an hour and like, seemed really boring. Didn't like it. Probably going to get loads of people hate that. Charles says my current game is Grim Dawn. They remastered Scared. I'll be on the Rebels on. One day I'll be back on Kerbal Space Program. Okay. Okay, right. Anyway, I should get on and start taking this thing apart because I'm never going to get this done. Just check the phone, make sure there's no more notifications. Oh, Kath sent me an image of something. What was that? I love the Superman lamp. Okay, got it. Sam Luce, please could you link that easy DIY cable you bought? I will be. I'll have to go onto my PC. Hang on. I will do that now. Carry on talking amongst yourselves. I'll just find the link. It's actually a pretty decent cable, to be fair. Let's see, where are we? Crazy you. That's the one. Yeah, this is a banging cable actually.
You can send it to me and I can post it if you want.
I'm going to switch accounts now so I can increase my income. Yeah, I'll do that. If I send it to you, can I send it to you? Is that right?
Yeah.
On Discord?
Yeah.
Okay. For those of you that are on Discord, I will post it in the bargains no chat. Where are we? Bargains no chat. So it's actually a really nice cable. I think Kath's just putting the links in now. It's a nice supple cable. The look of it on the screen, it doesn't look as nice as it is to actually use. And because the 4-pin sense wires are kind of routed in between it, it's really nice. It's got some cable combs on there. You're looking at about 25 quid, but yeah, I think it's definitely it's definitely okay. James Messina says, "You're wearing my hoodie. Give it back." I've only got one of these. This was like a it's basically made of recycled microfibers. Oh, there's a bit of a hole there. I broke it there. Mother effer. I have to buy some more. These are really thin and very lightweight. They're great for like the summer and for wearing around the house because they're so lightweight. You can carry on and do stuff. But they pick up cat's hairs like a microfiber cloth. Literally, you can use this to clean up spills and stuff. It's absorbent, but it's really good for the summer. I can't believe you have to sew that up or glue it. Might glue it. James says, "Yeah, you know I have one. You can't. I only bought what? Literally, this was the prototype. There's none else. You've got one similar to it, but it's not the same." I've been trying to find. There's actually someone that was doing these. This one cost I think about 30 quid or 30 something quid, which is a lot for what it is. It's quite thin. But I did find another seller or supplier which can do them. But I'm trying to work out if people want them and if they do, what sizes. And maybe I can order some more and get those figured out.
No, I think I'll just have my normal. Thank you. It was better.
Zane C says, "Hey Mike, just wanted to drop by and thank you for helping me with my build." You're very welcome. No worries. James says his come with cat hairs on it and everything. I know. He was going to clone Flame, yeah. Rasher says thin is good for summer. Yeah, I love wearing this. I wear this hoodie like literally almost every day because it's so nice. It's like an extra layer, which you can still get around and do stuff and move around. You don't get like hot and sweaty, but it also gives you a little bit of a layer. So in the colder days, it keeps you warm.
I've added a few more layers since.
Kettle's on, yeah. Yeah, I will find out. If people are interested, I'll get them. The only thing I don't like about it is the hood is a little bit on the kind of small side, and it does zip up right the way up to there. So you can kind of really, you'd be like E.T.
How warm is it in there now? Because I'm really hot.
It's 23.3. Kath's having hot flashes.
Hot flashes.
She's getting all menopausal.
That's that.
Free speech is dead. Say also made it. Hey man, how you doing? South Park. Yeah, it's like, oh my god, who killed Mike? Right, let's get this PC taken apart. Actually, what should I do first? Should I take this apart? No, I'll stick the motherboard and that together first. I've got some options as well. Actually, no, I do need to take that apart because I'm not too sure what I'm going to do in terms of the drive, because I've got an MV3 there which I kind of want to use. I'm not too sure about the cooler. I'm tempted to go with the Noctua, but if I remember rightly, this thing was just heavy and didn't perform particularly well. And I don't know if this will fit on AM5, but it does fit AM4. I don't know. We'll have a look.
Do you not want some?
Dutch Jan says large for me. Sound. Oh, sorry, have I turned the sound off? Where's my mic gone? Oh, it's down here. I forgot it was there.
Do you want to put that?
James says the thing to Mike's left looks like a huge PSU. Oh, well, that's a computer. That's the power supply. It's inside it. What's the matter? What's going on?
Your claw's stuck in my finger as I moved it.
Ooh. Right, let's start getting this thing taken apart. For anyone who's interested and wants to build their own mini-itx computer, this motherboard and processor bundle will be on sale very shortly, probably on the Discord to start off with. If nobody's interested, then I'll stick it on Facebook Marketplace. Yeah. If anybody is interested at all, it will be pretty cheap because it's, well, the processor cost me £130. It's a 12400 with onboard graphics. The motherboard cost me about 120, I think. So it's like 250 quid's worth. I don't know, I'll probably do it for like 150 or something, just to get rid of it. I need some tools. What tools do I need? Actually, I've got tools. I have tools in the box because Patrick Lebel, the lovely man he is, actually 3D printed some tools. I believe. They should still be in here because I try and keep everything together. There we go. That's what we want. So I'll try and remember which way around this all goes now to take it apart. So the last bit was the front panel, so that can come off of there. That is magnetized on, so that can come off. In actual fact, I can disconnect the fan because I won't be needing that on here. So that's off, so that's that part done. This bit slides out, but I need to undo the bolts at the back with the Allen key. Viali says, "Don't lose on it. Sell it on for the cost, Mike." The thing is, like, it probably isn't worth what it cost. And I've done those up too tight. I do need a toolkit. Bear with. I wonder if I can use the Torx in that. Yes. A Torx T10 does the same job. So yeah, I would love, like the PC I sold on Thursday, 800 quid. I totaled it all up. I did have it on the board there. It was the best part of like £1,100 worth of a kit in there. But it's like, is it worth £1,100 to someone? It didn't cost me £1,100 because some of the bits I got sent for review samples and what have you. So it's like, well, if I can pass on some of those savings and potentially earn some karma points along the way, because those are always worth trying to keep if you can.
Danny?
Danny, what would you do with an older computer when upgrading to a new PC? I don't know. Older computers, generally, like, unless you've got some real specific use for them, I don't know, just get rid of it somehow, I suppose.
Matthew Day.
Yeah, send it to Matthew Day. He collects loads of old PC stuff.
Matthew Day says, "Looks like a huge fan. What size is it really?" Not sure.
It is huge. It's a 140.
What
Which,
in the PC itself?
yeah, it's a 140mm. It's a big fan for what it is actually, but it's quite useful because there's not a lot of room in here actually for fans. So actually, kind of using the largest fan you possibly can actually does make some sense. How does this come apart? I can never remember how this goes. Right. You know I'm going to be cussing later on when all this won't go back together. So that slots into there. Yeah, that goes backwards. Never get this back together, am I?
200 in the case.
What's that?
It looked like a 200 in the case.
Oh, did it? Yeah, I suppose it would do, yeah. So power supply in this is just a crappy GameMax micro ATX 300 watt power supply. But realistically, for what we're using this for, and for the actual power draw, I think the 8600G draws somewhere in the region of about 80 watts maximum. It's like a 65 watt part, so it'll draw maybe 90 at a push. So yeah, 300 watt power supply is going to be more than enough. If I could disconnect the darn thing. That was my fault for doing the cable management, or cable ties. There we go. Flame and Maisie are on the move. Let's put that over there. Where you go, Mabes? You want to come out? Mabes is coming out. Right, the RAM is just some clever bolt. DDR4 low profile stuff, which is kind of nice. Tiny PSU, it is. And very cheap. I think it cost me 15 quid. It's like 15 quid for a power supply. Like mini-itx doesn't necessarily need to run that hot or that powerful. So if you can get away with using a cheaper power supply, you might as well do it. It doesn't affect performance. or at least it hasn't in my particular instance. Super chat from Rasher, thank you very much. It says, to the coolest tech couple on the internet. The coolest or the coldest?
I'm hot.
Kath's hot, actually. Yeah, Kath's the hottest tech wife. Right. Anybody want some cheap RAM? I'll bundle that in with the motherboard and processor if anybody wants it. Okay, right, let's get this out. I've forgotten how small this cooler actually was. It is absolutely tiny. Oh, I didn't click on that over the time. There we go. Thanks, Rasher. Much appreciated. So yeah, it's absolutely tiny, this this whole setup. And these, God, it's been a minute since I've done this. I'm getting a bit rusty in my old age. But for me, this is the cool stuff. I love this stuff. Like 130 pound processor, 120 pound motherboard. I think I paid about 30 quid for the RAM because it was like ages ago with the deal when RAM wasn't stupid prices. 15 quid for a power supply. The case was 3D printed. The cooler was on offer for about 15 quid. So it's like, it's all been really rock bottom prices, which is awesome. That's what it should all be about, I think, personally. And like enjoying what you're doing. If I remember, how does this cooler come off? Oh, from the back, isn't it? Anyway. Nice little cheap PC. I think it worked when I worked out altogether. It was like under £400, which for a little mini-itx PC, you can't go too far wrong. Hey, David Graham. How you doing?
He says people use the word hate all wrong. Use the word dislike instead of hate.
Okay.
I don't know if you said it or not.
I'll try to.
But we do try and alter our language when we realise.
Yeah, we do try and alter our language a little bit. Because words is spells.
And spelling.
Yes. Today, mostly, I will be doing spelling. How does this come off of here? Do you know what? It's been so long that since I've done this, I honestly can't remember how this goes together. Ah, I know. Yeah, it's bolted on the back, but did they give us a spanner for that? I don't think they did. Right, let's put that down. So yeah,
You're talking about Patrick.
No, the manufacturer of the cooler. I don't think they actually put in a tool. Yes, they do. Yes, they did. I'm telling lies. It's all lies.
Sweet little lies.
It's in a bit in the box. Yeah, I'm getting it. There we go. I seem to recall there was some issue.
Like small cases.
Dutch Jan. You're killing me. Yeah, I try and keep... Ow, bollocks, that's sharp. I try and keep all the bits where I can. I try and keep all the stuff together because if I do sell stuff on, I don't want to be in that position where it's kind of like, oh, yeah, I haven't got that. Although saying that, I sold that PC this week and I had it all set up on display so they could see it working and run some benchmarks and what have you. And I packed it all away and then they got like 5-10 minutes away and I realised the power cable was still plugged into the wall. I was like, oh no. So I messaged him and said, oh no, that's right, I've got one. I was like, oh, terrible. I could send it on in the post. I did offer to, but they said no, it's fine. Thank you for the super chat there, O'Reilly. £20, bless you. And it says, to Dave and the gang for catnip. Oh, do you hear that, Maisie?
Well, that must have been an older one. I missed that one, sorry. There's another.
Oh, there's another one? That was... Yeah, that's O'Reilly, and the other one was from... Oh, sorry, Andy Archer. Hang on, I'm getting confused now. What is going on? Is that two this... What?
It looks like two the same colour, so...
Hang on. Rasher, £20. Andy Archer. I could have sworn that said O'Reilly just now.
I thought you said O'Reilly, but
my eyesight is getting worse.
Oh, I didn't miss it at all then.
Andy Archer, thank you for the £20 super chat to Dave and the gang for catnip. Oh dear.
We grow catnip.
O'Reilly says I have not done one yet. Sorry, I haven't. I'm not kind of goading you into that. That was a logistical error with my eye sockets. I dislike my eyes at times. Thanks, Andy. Oh dear. Right, is this going to come off easy peasy lemon squeezy, or is there stuff I got to do? I bet it's going to be stuck in it. Let's see if I can break the seal a little bit. Yeah, I think that's going to come off. A little bit of lateral force. Yeah, there we go. That was actually stuck on there pretty dang good. Right, better give this a little bit of a clean up. So I think what I'll do is, whilst I'm doing that, I'm going to stick the overhead camera on, because I haven't put it on yet. There we go. And hopefully, look how small that motherboard looks. Brilliant. Right, I'm going to grab my my drink of whatever Angel's concocted in this cup.
No flame. Can't really sit on my desk tonight. It's too busy.
Bisto. Right then, let's get this cleaned up. So I think I've still got my isopropyl alcohol in here somewhere. There we go. There it is. Let that settle on there for a couple of seconds. Viali says, I got my hearing aids yesterday. Amazing hearing things clearly now. I didn't realise how bad my hearing was. This mechanical keyboard is really loud.
That's all I could hear last night in bed was Mike, like clunk, clunk, clunk.
Yeah, last night when we were on the Discord firing away some chat, Kath was up in the bedroom, could hear the keyboard clacking away.
At the other end of the house, upstairs.
And to be fair, my keyboard is actually pretty quiet.
It's not.
It's got linear switches as well.
Terrible.
Right, so should I reuse this CPU cooler, or should I make use of the Noctua? I'm actually tempted to carry on using this one. Look at the VRM set up on this board. It's not very beefy. Who that?
Ashley.
Cheers, Ashley. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. There we go.
Victor.
What's your Victor, Vector? No, what's your Vector, Victor? There we go, that's nice and clean now. So I think I'm going to leave that CPU on the board, and I will just put that back in the box. Mark says, Mike, is the BIOS on that Chinese ITX board in English? My mate bought one off AliExpress and it was Chinese only. Yeah, you can change it from Chinese to English.
Done a walkthrough, haven't we?
Yeah, we have done a BIOS walkthrough which tells you how to do that. So if you just search out on the channel, you'll see that. O'Reilly says, now I have sent a super chat via PayPal. Bless you, sir. Let's have a look there. What's he saying? £20 from O'Reilly to reboot your eyes. Thank you so much. I will have to reboot my eyes. I feel like I need the sun on my eyes. I need some sunshine.
Sun gazing.
Thanks for the clearance, Clarence.
And did you do Victor?
Victor, what did he say? Is this board worth buying? I have an extra 7600X I want to make use into a mini PC. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would go with that. Yeah, it's hard really. Let me go back to the main camera. I think we're done here. Oh, actually, I better take the M.2 drive. Realistically, for the money, and then you want to go for the mini-itx, like that is going to be the real deciding factor. If you really have to go mini-itx or something, then yeah, the Jginyue board is great value for money. But it's one of those things that you also do have to be somewhat aware of the kind of the downsides. It's a Chinese board from a small manufacturer with limited upgrade potential, and in terms of like BIOS updates, they're not that thick and fast. So yeah, you are kind of somewhat taking the kind of like your life in your own hands with it. But
probably what you're doing.
yeah, it depends what your needs are. If you don't mind being somewhat of a tinkerer and you don't want to spend 200 quid on a decent board or like a known board, then yeah, it's definitely worth it. And the thing is, even if you get one off AliExpress, because it's quite cheap anyway, the resale value is pretty decent. So if you don't like it, don't get on with it, stick it on Facebook Marketplace. You could stick it on for what you bought it for, you get your money back. They're pretty easy to sell because other people are interested and don't want to go through AliExpress. They don't want the hassle. They'd rather buy it from Joe Blogs. So yeah, it's a good way of giving it a try, and it's almost like a no lose thing.
Kev's in.
Hey Kev, how you doing? What's my Victor vector? For those who don't know what I'm going about, this is from a very old film called Aeroplane, which was a kind of like one of the earliest of the piss take comedies. It's a good film actually. Leslie Nielsen. I don't think it's the other actors that are in it. There's quite a few famous actors in there, and I think there was a few cameo roles in there as well, if I remember rightly. It's been a.
Ballard.
No, Charles Ballard went in it.
He was. His mum was.
Charles Ballard. Oh, it's called Flying High in Australia. Interesting. Oh yeah, O.J. Simpson was in it. Charles says, I told her it was funny. She said, it's not supposed to be funny. It's a disaster movie. I told her, Mother, it's a comedy. Yeah, Airplane 2 were good. It's a shame actually that everything's like copyrighted to the hilt these days. Otherwise, we could probably organise like a Discord watch-along night. Although saying that, some people really don't kind of understand the whole idea of a watch-along, and they'll be just jibber-jabbering all the way through.
Is that me?
I got these things in here. I'm not sure what they're from.
What's the point of doing it
Oh,
for
no.
people if you're not going to talk?
Well, yeah, you can talk. You can have a little bit of a commentary, but not going through the whole dang thing. Right, so there is the motherboard packed away. I suppose, really.
Priscilla Presley, are they getting confused with Naked Gun?
Yeah, Priscilla Presley was in Naked Gun.
Oh, so was OJ.
OJ was. OJ was one of the pilots in Airplane.
Was he?
Yeah. I think. You got me confused now.
I've never watched it, I don't think. I've only seen clips.
It's quite funny. It's almost like one of the earliest kind of stoner movies, I guess. I think that is... Oh, SATA cables. Forgot that. Right, there we go. Motherboard and processor. If anyone's interested, get in touch. Oh, driver disc. That'd be handy. All fully working. One careful owner.
Yeah, Jay Rich, I'm thinking of Naked Gun, apologies.
Okay, right. Let's have a look at this cooler. So I'm sure I've got to make some adjustments to this base plate, but it is, like I said, it's been a while since I've done one of these. So aim
Cat free. You're down to one on the desk with you now, aren't you?
cat free.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
two.
there's two. Got Maisie and Flame.
Dave.
Oh, is that Dave?
Dave's flames in the window.
Sorry, my apologies, Flame.
Me, Poppy and Otis have gone out, and I'm not. Candy's on the chair under the table.
Why does that RAM not want to go back in that box? Yeah, it's definitely getting warmer in here, isn't it? I feel. You still hot?
I'm okay now. I'll open the window to let the cat out.
Stick that up there for now. Hopefully that doesn't fall over in the middle of the night and terrify me.
Lloyd Bridges.
Lloyd Bridges, of course, yeah. I picked a hell of a day to stop sniffing glue. What a great line. Rasher says, I sneaked in a 2-litre flagon of cider in to see Airplane. I never laughed as much in my life when I was young. Ah, dear. Good times. Okay, right. So I'm going to leave those on there. Take this out. I've got to be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure why I'm doing this. I was actually reasonably happy with the PC. And to be fair, I've only used it maybe twice this year. But it'll be nice to get some of the older stuff out. Right, so that has got to go face... Oh God. That way round. So that is that way.
Guttenberg, is it?
Steve Guttenberg? Was he in it?
Was also in Airplane.
Was he really?
Apparently.
What did he play in it? I don't recall seeing him in it. Or at least not memorably anyway. Steve Guttenberg. Whatever happened to Steve Guttenberg? Because he was everywhere, wasn't he, in the 80s?
Airplane. Who did he play? Don't know. Don't think he was there.
Yeah, because like him, Tom Selleck, and
Russia.
Dan, what's his face?
Him.
What was his name? Can't think what his name was now. The guy who was in Cheers. Can't think what his name is now.
Cheers.
They were like the kind of like the actors of the era. They were in everything. Where did I just put those screws? Eyes time.
Can you answer?
Danson, Ted Danson. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Can you answer Russia?
Rasher, what was he saying? Where is the question?
Why does AMD?
What does AMD advertise? 8,000 mega transfer speed for RAM on... yeah. Right. The problem with AMD RAM, it's... it comes down to competition, ultimately. So, because obviously Intel have a... I wouldn't say it's a better memory controller, but their memory controller works slightly differently. So, with AMD, if you want to use it and have it in like a decent latency, it's got to be in technically gear 2, but gear 1 mode, let's say, for instance. So it's running kind of mem clock versus U clock. So controller clock and memory clock are the same. Whereas Intel doesn't have to be really like that. It can be double the memory clock, or it can be kind of offsets of the memory clock. You can get the speeds out of AMD, but it's hard to do. So if you just turn on XMP, it's unlikely it's going to happen. You'd have to go into your motherboard and tell it to slow down the memory controller, or run in like gear 4 mode. So it's running it kind of like half the cycles of the RAM, which makes your latency go up. So yeah, it's a really messy situation. They should have really kind of, I wouldn't say ironed out the kinks in it, but just maybe explained it better more, or have it report in the BIOS differently. Because I think most people would be quite happy running faster RAM at a higher latency if it was easy to do, but it really isn't. But yeah, it's all to do with, you've got gear 1, gear 2 and gear 4, and it's all kind of dividing the internal clocks. And also you've got the RAM with the new little chips on, so it's got its own RAM controller kind of built in, or signal amplifier. That's basically what it comes down to, is the fact that the signals lose their, they degrade through the memory bus. And because the memory controller's not got enough voltage, it just can't carry the signals at that kind of frequency. So that's why Intel have got slightly more of an advantage there.
He did first to Police Academy.
Yeah, he did the Police Academies, Short Circuit, 3 Men and a Little Lady, 3 Men and a Baby, various other things as well. Cocoon, I think he was in Cocoon 2 as well, possibly. But yeah, just disappeared off the face of the earth. Well, in terms of being on TV and in TV shows, etc. Yeah, it always just seemed a little bit peculiar to me. Peculiar. Right, I'm not even sure if these are the right parts to be putting on here, but the other ones are on the Intel side, so I'm just going to use these. I got a feeling these are the longer ones, which are too long. So I've got to use the shorter ones. Yeah, I'm thinking now from the discussions with, I think it was going to be Togue, that yeah, you can't use the longer AMD threads with this cooler on AM4 or AM5. You've got to use the shorter ones, and it makes it hard to install. I knew there was something about this. I think I actually said it in the video when I did the review on the cooler. There's like, in the instructions it says to use these, but don't use these, or vice versa. I wonder actually if it's going to fit, because the AM4 or the AM5 backplate, I've never installed this cooler on an AM5, so it may not work at all. We may be completely scuppered, which wouldn't be the first time. But it's all part of the learning curve. That's why we do these live streams, so we can kind of learn things as we go along with you guys out there and girls. And I can actually say guys and girls now. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. David Graham has come up with a bit of a hot take there. Trump is taking out the cancel culture and bringing back sanity to the world. The thing is, one man's sanity is another man's insanity. I know where you're coming from, and I got to be honest with you, there's some things which have happened recently which I think are actually kind of long overdue, but there's some things as well which are a little bit on the insane side. So yeah, like I said, it's one man's sanity is another's insanity.
Charles Ballard. Steve Guttenberg was just on TV during the LA Fire interview.
Oh right, excellent.
The viewer had no idea who he was talking to. I believe he was rescuing pets.
Oh, bless him. Hopefully he's made an absolute killing and has got enough money that he can just chill and enjoy the rest of his life with his family. Was he married to like a famous person or something? Or I honestly don't know Steve Guttenberg's personal history. Me and Steve, we're not like that. We're not vibing or nothing. We're not friends on Twitter.
What was that surname?
Dave Villeneuve says, voting for Dave Lee, oh no, it's DJT, I thought it said DLT. That's Dave Lee Travis for the UK viewers. Voting for DJT. What's DJT? Oh, voting for Donald J. Trump, of course.
Christ.
See, that is your opinion, although arguably 50+% of people would disagree with that. So you're in a minority, so you're wrong. That's how it works. It's democracy. But it's good to be wrong, because there's going to be a time when you're going to be right, when the shoe's on the other foot. Politics is nuts. All politicians are absolute assholes. I've said this before on the Discord, and someone said that you shouldn't see everyone with distrust. I was like, well, I distrust everybody, especially politicians. I don't think there's an honest one amongst them. There may well be, but I don't know them and I haven't met them. And that doesn't fit. What's that catching on?
So Larry the cat votes for BLT.
Right, this appears to be stuck. How is that even possible? How have I managed to stick a CPU? I have actually done that. I've trapped a CPU cooler into this board somehow, and it won't come back out. Ah, there we go. It was slightly on the piss. So I think this is going to be troublesome. Come with me or there'll be trouble, said Robocop. Right, what is that catching on? Right, okay. So this isn't happy at all. And it doesn't want to come out.
Net worth $12 million.
$12 million?
He might be able to survive for a little while.
He'll be alright. He'll do okay. That looks twisted to me. These don't look right.
Markowski.
Where are we?
And Victor's language.
I'm sorry, it's on look for the chat now.
Emily Smith, Steve Guttenberg's wife.
Ah, right, okay. Emily Smith. Don't think I know her. Stealth Cooler Time. Yeah, it might be. David Underhill says Donald Trump was refused a business license in the 1990s in Australia because of his criminal connections. No doubt many other people have as well. And the thing is, like, arguably, most big businesses and business people, if you look hard enough, they're all going to have criminal things that they've done. Much like us, human beings, if you live long enough, you get to make enough mistakes. And just because you have a criminal record doesn't necessarily make you a bad person. Just means you've been caught out. Why will this not go through there? Am I being daft here? There is a possibility.
Do you want to get off the screen as well?
Yeah. So that definitely doesn't want to go through there.
Use the notch that's better anyway.
I'll look more clear. No, this isn't the notch one. This is still the AM5 one, but yeah, it seems to be the you've got to get it like lined up ridiculously accurately.
Turn 90 degrees.
You can't, because it's AMD. If you turn it 90 degrees, it'll be way too wide. You could turn it 180 degrees. I'll try that. I don't think that's going to make any difference though. Just think the actual there must be some bends actually in this somewhere. Oh, actually, that went in. That's worked. Although the heat pipe is literally resting on the VRM. So I don't know if that's making good enough contact. Let me give you a close-up of that so you can see what I can see, hopefully. So can you see that? Where there's two heat pipes and they seem to be resting on the metal of the VRM. If you can see that at all. Just like a little lip. Just resting on it. So it does fit, so we know it can fit. So if I take it off now and run it through the other way, and are those screws too long now? And should I have used the other ones? Yeah, there's definitely, the screws there are longer at one side than the other, so it's resting in an awkward place.
Isn't that the AM4 mount?
Technically it's AM4, but AM4 is the same as AM5 in kind of most respects. Let's try it with the other pins on again.
Ira Wolfman's in, but internet's been playing up since yesterday.
Hey, Ira Wolfman.
Fibre.
Yeah, I might have to get a hammer on this in a bit. So I'll try these screws and I'll try it around the other way now. You never know.
Will that affect mounting pressure on CPU?
What, actually hitting the side? Thing is, I think it's going to do it both ways round, but it does appear that this side, the heat pipes are slightly more exposed than the other side. So this side has to go on the VRM side. I'll try it one more time, and if not, I'll...
If in doubt, give it a clout. Mike, can you suggest any good ARGB fan kits?
Funnily enough, there is a...
Or use 4 cable ties?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I've just found a brand on AliExpress called Upser, I think it's called.
Wasn't that who did the controller?
Might have been actually. And yeah, they got some 5 packs of fans which look quite nice. Look like almost like Leanne Lee rip-offs. They're about 15 quid for a set of 5 fans, which I bought a pack. They will be arriving in the next, well, hopefully in the next 5 days.
Try looking at.
Metal filing's my favourite.
The noctua will not work with the 8600G cooler. Cannot handle base clock from Noctua website.
Oh, great. That's just what we want to hear. Right, why won't this go out? Let's, where's the persuader?
Oh, Stavros.
Hey, Digital Davros. Oh, Stavros. Hey, Mike, just realised I liked you 100% more than I did yesterday. You are based AF. I never watched you live before and I've only just now realised that you are a normal freedom-loving patriot. I am. Thanks for noticing. I do try to be a patriot.
We are.
We, Kath and I are both somewhat patriotic towards our country, our beliefs, and our, well, our history, I guess you'd call it. Not all of which English history has been good. Let's be fair, but
And that's another language one. It is
we try. Yeah, it is, yeah. Right, this is really pissing me off now. But the Noctua one apparently is no good. Persuader, says Rasher, that's the one. Why won't this... Like, this should be straightforward, but my eyes aren't really that good at levels, so... So, that one needs to be bent out a bit more. Ah, there we go. Yay! That fits, and... Praise baby Jesus and the saints.
Did you have that shape sorting ball when you were a baby?
Yeah. Come in handy. That on that side now, the pipes are... There's like a millimetre. I think I could probably just about get a fag paper between it. Sorry, cigarette paper, I should say. Yeah. And I can just about see where my nuts screw on. But whether or not my nuts will screw on with heat paste on as well, that is debatable. I don't know whether I will. So it might have to come out again. Oh yeah, damn it. It's just, oh, a millimetre too short. Right. It's going to have to come out again. All part of the learning curve. Are Brits still paying for royalty, Mike? We pay for everything. You name something that we don't pay for. Apart from, well, someone's going to say, oh, you don't pay for the NHS. Yes, we do. It's called national insurance. If you're unemployed, then you don't pay for the NHS, but everyone else does. It's yeah, we don't use it, but we pay for it. Air, well, yeah.
Not yet.
You do if you go to a garage. And water. At the moment, air is the last thing which is actually somewhat free. But I wouldn't want to breathe it too much. Sir Larry the Cat says, made my eyes water with you mentioning tightening your nuts. Right, this should work. If not, it's going to be Dremel time. Oh, I need to put heat paste on first, don't I? And a protector. Let's put our little condom on because we don't want our socket getting infected. Where is my... I literally had this in my hand the other day, so to speak. Oh dear Lord. Condoms.
For?
Processor. Stop it getting infected.
With what?
Thermal paste.
So keep it clean, not infected.
Yeah.
Infection is inflammation.
Right, that way round. There is supposed to be a little... Actually, let's should have this on the overhead. So there we go, our little thermal paste protector. Stops the paste getting down inside the CPU and also inside the socket. And being that I'm going to be faffing around with this for the next God knows how long.
You should try some ice cooling graphite thermal fans for temporary builds. Much cleaner than any paste.
Actually, sorry, taking my microphone off a minute.
That's really loud.
Kath says that was probably really loud. I doubt it. Sorry, I'm just kidding with you. No need to adjust your volume. Oh God, that's my shoulder. It does that every night when I go to bed. When I take my hoodie off, because I wear it every day because I'm a filthy urchin. I do need to order some more of those actually. In all seriousness, if anybody does want one of those microfiber based hoodies, if you let me know the sizes, I will do an order and we'll try and get those sent out in the post. Obviously, depending where you are, it may not be easy.
We've had...
I messaged him.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I just noticed there's a little bit of thermal pasta on there. Right, thermal paste. What should we use today? What's here? MX4. MX4 is a good choice. Everyone's got MX4. O'Reilly says, ouch, Mike, I heard that snap when you took your hoodie off. It happens every night. I take my hoodie off, and normally it's like when I'm about to go to bed and it's quiet in the bedroom. And
usually it's just trapped out.
I normally go, ow.
In the socket, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
meant to be.
Yeah, normally it's where you've got something in the socket itself, and just so it isn't particularly flat. I'm looking at the camera and I've just realised it's not on that camera. That was silly. Right, where's my spreader? Alessa says, I don't have MX4, I have thermal pads. I must admit, I've got some thermal pads here, and I have used them in the past, but I've never found them to be very good.
Do you apply the import tax, Mike?
Do I apply it?
Yeah, I don't know what
It will, yeah. That will be something which I think is one of those things which is going to be basically put upon us wherever, however. Although saying that, it seems...
They've been implementing something since that.
Something's been going on with there was a postal crash of the postal system back in 2022?
23, I think.
Maybe 23, yeah.
Because it was the beanies, wasn't it?
Yeah, when we were sending out the beanie hats. And oh my God, that was so much hard work. The Royal Mail system got hacked. And they were basically held to ransom.
They hacked.
Yeah, they were allegedly hacked. And they were kind of held to ransom on it. I'm going to put a little dot of paste. So I do the spread method, and then I also put a P on the top. So how this works is...
For some reason, when they were hacked, they have to now take more details.
Yeah, they have to take more details of us now, so if they get hacked, we lose even more information.
Which doesn't make sense.
Thermal paste, thin spread across the entire IHS, pretty much. Then a little blob in the middle, because people say, oh, there's going to be thermal pockets in there. So that's why there's a bit in the middle, so that'll squish down and then hopefully push out any little pockets there may be. Realistically, if you're concerned about little pockets of air on your thermal paste, you probably need to go outside and go and play in nature or something. O'Reilly says, I know my mistake applying thermal paste. I rush it too much. Mike is so steady. It's the drugs. The drugs help. Oh, here we go. Just don't want to go in again.
By drugs, you mean chicory in your coffee?
Yeah, it's my coffee. There we go.
Chicory and barley.
So that doesn't seem level again. Have I put it in? Oh, I have put it around the wrong flipping way. Or have I? No, that's catching now. Oh, this is... Oh, there we go. Yeah, that is... I think that's down about as far as it's going to get. Oh well. Right, I'm fed up with this now, so I'm just going to do my nuts up so tight that it makes my eyes eyes water.
And parts your ass a bit more.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Where have I? Speaking of which, I think I've lost my nuts. I know it's cold, but they might have gone up back inside. Where is they gone? Where's my nuts gone?
You remove that paste shield.
No, you leave the paste shield on. Because then when it squishes, it squishes over the paste shield. Where are the nuts? Kath, have you seen my nuts?
Not for a while.
Oh, there they are. They're on. They've hidden away. These nuts.
We're made for walking.
When your nuts go tight, all will be well, says Markovsky. There we go. Doesn't seem level. Must be the drugs. No, it isn't. It's oh, I've got 5 nuts. I should be in a travelling circus.
Do you know what? Rasher said they've got to have an extra €100 on their electric bill to pay for the damage the storm did.
Why?
Because they don't want to use their profits, I suppose.
They should be using the bloody insurance money.
But then we only pay that extra on premiums anyway, don't we?
Yeah. This is very, very weird. I don't think this is going to work. Because it seems to be really unbalanced. Oh no, there we go. Alright, it keeps on falling through. So I think I need to keep applying some form of pressure on there. So we'll just do these up until they're kind of hand tight. And then 1, 2, oh.
Is this case all plastic?
3. Yes, it is.
All 3D printed?
All 3D printed, yep.
In Canada.
Okay, that is, well, that's on there. Whether or not it's making a good contact would be, yeah, questionable, but we'll do some benchmarks at some point with it to make sure that everything is okay. Bloody hell. Kath, can you open that window for a bit? It's getting mightily warm there. Right, I'm just going to plug in the CPU fan header. Just that one there. There's another CPU fan header next there. Is it? Shouldn't be.
I know it shouldn't be, but they keep whacking on because you keep relying on that bloody stupid hive thing.
Right, I want to try and get that around there. I think that'll be alright there. Ow. I don't like this cooler very much. I don't think it likes me either, because it doesn't want to fit. Stay there, you shithead.
I left this feeling like she's break out beer. Do it.
Do it. Do it. I would, but I haven't got any because we're poor.
You have?
I know, I was just making that.
From Christmas before last.
Here we have. Why does that not want to fit on there? Damn coolers. Be the bane of my life. Spring clips, I don't like them.
I can't say the name. 1022. Purple N.
1022. Sir Larry the Cat?
No. Above.
Oh, hang on. I have to move mouse. So, there's a question there from Neculevelis, or something along those lines.
You did it better than me.
Hey, so I saw your video about kernel power. As it turns out, when I leave the PC for like a bit of time, it goes idle and it counts that as a kernel power, or is something wrong? It could be that a lot of PCs will crash when they go idle because the power management isn't working correctly, or the RAM isn't set up correctly. So if you've got modern DDR5 RAM and you haven't set it up properly, when it goes to kind of power down or into like an idle mode, it will actually try to use too much power when it wakes back up. So that causes a kernel error because the system shuts down because the RAM just crashes. So you have to make sure that you correctly configure your DDR5 RAM. If you're on DDR4, it isn't so much of a problem, but you should still really configure your system, make sure everything's running as it should be, and also check the voltages, which you probably know that already if you've come over from that video. Quite often kernel power is a really difficult thing because kernel power can mean so many different things. So yeah, if you're not too sure or you want a bit of help with it, you can head over to our Discord. I'll put a link for that in the chat because I've not tried my link button yet and it seems to be working. There we go. Neki, I'm going to call you Neki because I can't pronounce the rest. So Neki says, yeah, I saw the voltage. Okay, so you saw the voltage, but did that make any difference to you? Or was your voltage correct? Were the voltages at the nominal values or were they kind of skipping around a little bit? But yeah, setting up, if it's DDR5, setting up your RAM is extremely important. I cannot stress that enough. And the reason I know this is because I suffered from the same problems. I was an early adopter of DDR5 and experienced a whole number of issues. So I am speaking somewhat from experience.
Do you trust Grumpy's experience?
This heatsink doesn't seem to want to fit back on there.
You need that little ball to refresh your memory.
We've got it around the wrong way.
But in that circle in the square hole, aren't you?
Here. Yeah, because that feels like it's not actually touching the drive. Maybe it is. Yeah, it is. I'm just being a little bit over cautious on this. Not that it really matters because it's a tiny little system. It's basically going to get so right. So yeah, you've got DDR5. I just noticed that in the chat. So have you watched our how to set up and configure DDR5 video? If you haven't, that would be the next one I would suggest you do. Take a look at that. Right, next thing is going to be our RAM. So I'm just going to use some Corsair RAM on here. I've got some other stuff I could use, but I think I like to go with the Corsair RAM. And also the fact that the other stuff I've got is Tough RAM XG from Thermalright, which is kind of nice stuff, but it's RGB, so it's kind of a little bit pointless having that RAM in this system because, well, you're kind of never going to see it. Another reason for me doing this system as well is because the video is actually getting a reasonable amount of views, and it's also with that generally comes a lot of questions. So I wanted to have this system set up so if people ask questions, I can just quickly go into the computer itself and try and answer those questions.
Can you read the message above that?
Do you know who my father is? Why didn't your mother tell you? What question?
The one underneath that, I assume, is Neki.
Neki.
Because I checked.
Oh, because I checked with Afterburner and it said the voltage limit was set to... Right, first thing to do, uninstall Afterburner. Because, like, reset Afterburner to the defaults. And yeah, you're talking about graphics cards. This is nothing to do with your graphics card. But if you're trying to overclock or tweak your graphics card and you're not sure what you're doing, you could be introducing problems there. So yeah, change your Afterburner settings, go back to defaults, and go back to basics. Any form of crashing or instability on a system, the first thing you do is just go back to basics. Because otherwise you don't know what's causing it. It could be your overclock is not stable. Hi Rolfman says the price of beer just went up here again. I have no idea how much beer is these days. Brasher says if your RAM sticks don't go in, you can ram them in. Boom. Right. Right, let's get rid of some of this stuff on the desk which we don't need anymore. I suppose really I could have used the stock cooler after all that. Do it. How does that even go in there? Oh, there. So much packaging in so little time. Right, don't need that anymore. We've got our Kingston MV1 drive in there. Let's go back to the main camera for a little bit. Hello. 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 And let's put this together. I've got to remember. Oh crap! Let's move the fan. I have a sneaking suspicion this is just going to overcook. Overcook? This is going to overheat and be awful.
You should get one of those little egg frying pans to put on the top.
Get a little water jug on the top. Keep the water warm, ready for cups of tea. All right, let's get these screws back in. Mike, which brand has the best RMA? To be honest with you, I could answer that, but it's going to be such, like, I don't have a large enough sample size for a start, and also I'm in the UK, so what happens in the UK could be completely different in another part of the world, so I don't know. Yeah, arguably EVGA or probably Corsair. Corsair's RMA system is very, very good. Now, I've been very lucky that I've only ever had to send back one thing myself. My son's had to send back one thing, and I know Dave Aitkins sent back numerous things, and excuse me, they've generally been very good. Dutch Jan, question, which cooler do you have on now? This cooler is the classic low profile CPU cooler from Thermalright. It is the AXP90-47. So it's 47 millimeters high. Don't you know? We have done a video on it. Sapphire very good, says Viali. I honestly, like, I don't know. All companies have their good and bad. The thing is, really, you should be hoping that you never have to even get down the road of discussing an RMA. I know that's like a little bit of idealistic viewpoint, but in theory, like, you shouldn't need an RMA. Although with modern motherboards, yeah, I think an RMA is one of those things that you're almost guaranteed of. Right, I've got to try and remember how this goes back together now. So, power supply goes on the back, and that rests on that, I think. Power supply. Well, that's definitely the feet. I know that much. So that goes in through there. Oh, slots in. So that, yeah, that slides into there. So that means that must go to there. Oh, that dot on the front with the magnet is what holds on the front panel. So that has to go on here. Or does it go from, it goes from that way. So yeah, that slots on from there. Good, good. Actually, I could put the front panel in place just to kind of hold it together maybe. Or actually, top panel. Let's get the top panel in. Most of you know that I'm going to end up taking this apart about 3 or 4 times because I've got to connect to things like the front panel connector, and I always get that bit wrong as well. Fair play to the guy who designed this maker unit. He's got the patience of a saint.
He did come in our stream, didn't he?
He was in a stream one time, yeah. Right, so front panel connectivity. What have we got here? I think I've got power LED. Yeah, power LED and power switch. So that is going to be the top ones. I'm not going to show you how these go on because I can barely see it myself. And actually I need additional light. Let's get some light on the go. Get the head torch on. Anyone who's not liking bright lights, look away. So, actually, this is quite a nice little place to get to. Oh, balls! I should have put the power supply plug. No GPU in this one. You can put a GPU in this case, but the reason for the processor was the fact that it has a pretty strong onboard graphics with the, I think it's the Radeon 760 or 780, one of those. But it's basically more than adequate for the needs here. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. Now we're cooking with gas.
Shall I give out some?
Yeah, why not?
Memberships.
Do that. Let's do that.
There we go, Babs.
Right, let's unplug that a little bit. So we are donating, well, not donating, we're giving out some free memberships to those in the community. Carl Anderson, Tibran 1, David B, Sacktown Clown 916, and Macaulay 4431. Sorry, O'Reilly.
Think of me, Riley. I've got it in real life.
Let's take it off. Right, let's pull that through there. Oh, and I've got to get the...
So did you read the one? Necky?
I didn't know. I'm struggling a little bit at the moment, sorry.
In the middle of all that. Best for the Discord, isn't it?
Yeah, with your problem, like if no one else can answer you in the chat, then you might be better off heading into the Discord.
Viali's trying to help, but...
Cheers, Viali. Get in there. Maker Unit says, this case looks quite similar to something I've seen before. How you doing, Maker Unit? This design was by Maker Unit. As I said before you joined just now, fair play to you, because this is like some wizard level shit. And I struggle to put it together. I really do. But I'm trying. I'm very trying. Right, I'm going to poke those wires underneath the motherboard. Hopefully they will stay under there. And O'Reilly has been a member for 36 months, 3 years. 3 whole years of your life. Damn, time has gone by fast. It really has. What do you think? COVID was like 4 years ago now, 5 years ago. Well, yeah, 2019 went to COVID-19, so...
2319.
Jesus. Such a long time ago. And it's for all intents and purposes, is basically forgotten. Which is kind of nuts in itself. Right, I need to get that... Oh, shithead. I need to get this... Stop it! Bastards! Stop doing that with the lights. I can't see a thing. Rasher has been a member now for 40 months. Blimey. Is it as long as that? Jeez. That's a long time. Thank you, guys. And girls. I must say that. Right, that is on. Excellent. Right, now I can slide that back in. I'm waiting for Maker Unit to make another version of this case, which I can print with my A1 Mini. I really regret buying the A1 Mini, because it's a bit small and it's a bit restrictive. Especially if, like, I'd love to be able to do another version of this, like maybe in a different color or something. But it's yeah, it's kind of, you can't do it with the A1 Mini because the panel sizes are too big. Now potentially there is a method, or I know there's going to be a method where you could probably split this design down a little bit, so it would be possible. But I honestly, when it comes to 3D printing, my knowledge is slim to none. So yeah, I wouldn't even know where to start.
Cool cat's hanging out, holding out for monkeypox.
Yay, monkeypox! Woo!
I think there's a silent K in it.
I think monkeypox is going to be the next thing. Well, we're looking at bird flu is going to be the next one. Clearly, that's on the menu already, so to speak. No pun intended. Yeah, but only chickens and only cows, basically the food sources. Like anything else is fine. I think they should start getting rid of the penguins. Let's start a petition to get rid of penguins. Chickens' lives matter.
Thanks, Ames, I'm alright.
Chickens' lives. I might get that made up on a t-shirt. Chickens' lives matter.
Hey Mike, have food prices gone up after New Year in the UK?
No, not that I've really noticed. Other people in the UK, if you've noticed it, I would say it hasn't really changed much. We are still experiencing, I think it's 2 to 3% inflation, like month on month. So it's all getting more expensive, but it's all kind of in line with what you're expecting. So there's not been any kind of shock jumps. It's just the usual jumps. Right, smooth those cables out the way. Make a unit, what's he saying?
It won't be as pretty.
I know.
And then Patrick Lebel.
Patrick, make a unit latest project was a nice 3D printed keyboard with laser cut and engraved wood surface. I did start watching that actually. I would love to do a keyboard, make my own keyboard, but
Nice silent one.
never going to happen because yeah, I can't do silent keyboards. Right, that goes round there, that goes up there. Sorry, I've got to tuck these wires away. This is one of the things where if you do want to have a very small PC, there are some things you have to kind of take care of whilst doing it. And some of that is actually, but this magnetic design for that is genius. I really do like that, it's great. And that hooks on there, and there we go. The PC is back together. There we go. Our Ryzen 5 8600G. Good as new. I do love this PC. And if it works, even better. Right, let's pack some of this stuff away and then we'll fire it up and maybe have a look at the temperatures and see how they are looking. What the hell is that for? Am I supposed to be using this? Oh, that's for the LJ, wasn't it? Right, if you've got any comments or questions, stick them in the chat now and I will endeavour to have a quick look whilst I'm trying to pack all this stuff away.
Other hobbies along with PCs?
I don't know. PCs are my main hobby, which is unfortunate. And I've said this actually many times to quite a few people. It's a really bad thing when computers are your hobby. Because if you enjoy your hobby, but then it's also kind of like your job as well, it's a really difficult thing to switch off. Because people say, well, just go and take a break. It's like, well, if I take a break, what am I going to do? I'm going to be on my computer. So it's not really a break. So yeah, it's, don't get me wrong, I am obviously genuinely very, what's the word?
Lucky?
I'm very lucky, very privileged to be able to do what I do as a job, make a living out of it, just about make a living out of it. So it's yeah, it's all good.
Maker unit.
But sometimes it's still a little bit like, just want to go in the garden and do something. Maker unit says, I have a design specifically made for the A1 mini users, but that's ATX, not ITX. Be happy to send you the files if you want to give it a shot. ATX, yeah, that could be interesting. Yeah, sure, yeah, send it over and I will have a look. Please, thank you, cheers. Kath's reminded me of my manners. I haven't got a box for that
I sound like my mum
drive.
when I was in labour.
Why haven't I got a box for that drive? Okay, right, let's ignore that.
Reminds me of my Jonso C6.
It is a really cracking case. I love it.
Danny,
It's fiddly, but I like it.
Danny, that's what's the day job?
The day job is this. YouTube is my daily job. I do this every day. I wake up, I do some vacuuming, I go to the toilet, I make videos, I answer questions, I go on Discord, I go to bed, I make videos. That's my life. So it's not very exciting.
And your cat bed.
Yeah, and the cat bed, obviously. MV3, what else have I put in here which I can... oh yeah, that. Oh, and the paste guard, no, don't need that in there. Need the CPU cover in case I ever need to send it back. Oh, and the bits for the motherboard. Always keep your motherboard bits. Very important, keep your motherboard bits just in case you ever need to send it back. Although, this comes from AliExpress. So, the chances of being able to send it back are basically the same chances of Martians landing on the White House lawn tomorrow morning at 11 AM. If that happens, I should have bought some lottery tickets. Right, and I'm going to keep my bits, which Patrick kindly assembled for me in there. I'm sure I actually should have more bits than that for the case, but maybe not. Maybe that is it. Oh, job done. Cool Cat says, I'm thinking of getting into clay pigeon shooting since I've retired. It looks like great fun. Yeah, I would like to do that. Clay pigeon shooting sounds awesome. Although, probably not as awesome for the pigeons, but...
Clay.
Arnold G says, ever dual streamed to Twitch? Also, I have enough trouble streaming to YouTube. I don't think I'd be allowed on Twitch. I think if I did, I'd get banned almost instantaneously. David Jonathan, John David Sutherland says, so, you're saying there's a chance, Mike. I know what film that's from.
Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber. Great film. Right. Yeah, I think we're there.
You had your hoodie on, you could still sound like you're going at an incredible rate.
Yeah, sounds like we're going at an incredible rate, Harry.
The kids hate me saying that to them all the time.
It's a good job you're not stacked, otherwise I'd break you in half like a piece of old wood.
That's in a special edition.
That's in the special edition. Flipping hell, it's hot. Right, let's attach my antennas. Arnold G, Trumper. There was a chance he got elected again. I honestly think that, despite being who he is, I think the Republican government will actually turn out to be one of the better things to happen. I've got some faith that they might be able to turn America around. I hope and pray they can. I really do. But we'll see what happens. Because the thing is, if America falls, we all fall. They are the last bastion. Cool Cat says Trump seems to be doing really well. Rick says, I agree, Mike. Arnold G says to be something or other. I'm living it. I'm thinking of moving out of this medical bankruptcy retirement. Scott Gordon says Trump is a moron. Aletta says America is fine. We don't need to turn around. I don't know. It's well, it's not the same country it was in the 80s. That's for sure. Some people may say that's a good thing, some people say it's a bad thing, but from an outsider looking in, like, I used to always dream of going to live in America. That was always a thing, like watching the 80s TV shows in California, in Hollywood and all that kind of stuff. It's like, oh my God, I really, really would love to be there. But now I don't think, like California and Hollywood, there's nowhere I would rather not be. It seems like an absolute hellhole. If you live there, I apologise, but just from what we're seeing on the media and what we're being told, it looks like an absolute shit pit. Sorry, that's probably a little strong. But I'm saying that out of good faith because I would love to be there. But yeah, I know, it's absolute
But
company.
where we live, it's not really much better, is it? To be
Oh yeah,
honest,
yeah.
compared to what it was in the
Where we live, it's
just a shithole as well.
yeah, it's
Everywhere's a shithole.
everywhere's getting worse. Rick H says, "I always wanted to live in the UK." It's I think it's a lot of it is going to be the case of the grass is greener or grass isn't greener. Do you know what I mean? It's we all see things, and like, I'm not sure why an American person will want to come to the UK, but I suppose it depends where you live in America.
I think America has got nicer weather than us.
Yeah, I still think if I went anywhere, I'd go to live in Florida.
I wouldn't want to go to Florida. You go to Florida.
Maybe Texas,
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
It's nice and warm.
Right, I need another keyboard and mouse, which I gave away. Wah, 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 wah. Larry Cat says healthcare is why. Yeah, but the thing is, healthcare in the UK does not exist. Yeah, it's free, but you never get seen. It's almost impossible to get an appointment. And if you do get an appointment, you're likely to be left in an ambulance outside the hospital for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 hours. So I would much rather pay for medical care and get seen to. Like, if you go to the doctors and say, can I get my bloods done? You've got no chance. They'll be like, well, why? They got to go through the ringer. And then it'll take like a couple of weeks to get them back. Whereas in America, you pay for it, get it done, and you got your results.
If you're a certain age, they'll have you in straight away for a health check.
Yeah.
They can find time for that one.
I thought that light was on then, but it is on. Oh, I've just pressed the button again. Is that going to reboot?
5k more subs than the same time last year.
Yeah.
I think was it a year ago we did this?
It was almost a year ago, yeah.
November we got the subs, wasn't it?
Let's see, is there actually anything on the screen? Wah, 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 wah. Is this actually on? It should be.
Was healthcare like that before 2010? It's been like it since
probably since
1999 when George was born. It was terrible, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's probably since the 80s.
I gave up on bothering using it in the end. It stressed me out.
Right, why is this not working now?
Or are you getting paid if you donate blood? Never done it.
No.
And I wouldn't accept blood either.
Right, for some reason, my switch is illuminated permanently. But it doesn't seem to be wanting to turn on, so maybe I've connected up something incorrectly. Let's have a quick look inside here. I don't know why the power switch should be lit, but not on. Power switch is the top row, isn't it? Unless I've maybe shorted it out by sticking it underneath here, possibly. Oh dear. I got a sneaking suspicion I might have done.
I agree, a letter. I hate big cities. I'd rather live where there's more trees than people.
Right, that isn't on. The light isn't on. You just do the. Actually, let's do the old power switch. Ah. Ah. I think I know what I've done. I've plugged it into the wrong port. So, yeah, of course, the front panel connector on here is basically round the wrong way. So it's upside down. So I was thinking of looking at it like you would a traditional motherboard, but because it's inverted, it's the opposite way around. So I was connecting to hard drive LED or hard drive power. Hard drive LED and reset switch. So yeah, that wouldn't have worked. So let's see if we've got a display. We don't currently. I'm not too sure what processor I actually ran on this, whether or not I need to do a BIOS update. Which, if I've got to do a BIOS update, I will cry. I think we're just rebooting at the moment, so we'll see what happens.
Maker unit, I emailed you the files now. I threw in the step in case you want to make some custom modifications similar to what's done with the one you already have.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much. My PC's not working. When my PC not working, I might have to get my little monitor out. It sounds like it's doing reboots.
Power switch cable to the reset switch.
It seems to be work. Yeah, I think I plugged it into the wrong port there, but it seems to be the fan is ramping up and down, so that means it is being recognised. Let's see if we've got a display yet.
Might need updating. We did that, didn't we?
I'm not too sure what BIOS update. Can you have a look on the BIOS update video and see which CPU I had in there? I bet I didn't have an 8600G in there.
How would I know?
On the BIOS tour video, just it'll say on the very first page. Ah, yay! There we go.
So not to bother.
No, it's all right. It's fine. We're good. We have Jginyue B650.
Maybe it's time to call a PC Tech.
I'll see if I can find one. Hey, there we go. And I have no idea what is actually on this computer, so I need to get a mouse and a keyboard. What shall I use? Decisions. I've got too many keyboards and too many mice. Let's use this one. Where is... Well, I need a USB cable. Let's grab a mouse. Oh, come on, there's like 5 mice in here. There we go. Ah!
You need a cat.
A cat and a mouse. Mike has too many mice with all those cats. I know. I know.
They're very lazy, actually. They haven't brought in any mice.
They are lazy. Oh, I know what I should have plugged in as well. The Ethernet jack. He is actually.
He's asleep on the job.
He's a bad boy. Right, let's have some USBs. They're actually, this motherboard, like a lot of more inexpensive boards, doesn't have a lot of USB ports.
A nice chap called Steve who works in an Indian, who speaks with an Indian accent and says he works for Microsoft support has offered to help you, Mike.
See, if it wasn't for the fact we live in such a cancel culture, I would quite happily do an impersonation of a stereotypical Indian person from Microsoft tech support, who is obviously a scammer. But that's the trouble these days, you can't do that. Because some people find it offensive, even though it's done as a humorous skit, so to speak. But obviously I don't want to upset no one, and Indian people are awesome, so I wouldn't do anything to upset them. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. Hopefully you know where I'm coming from. Well, it looks like we've got internet connectivity. I have no idea what I actually installed on this drive. It looks like it's struggling a little bit. Let's go to Device Manager. I think we must be in 4K or some stupid thing like that. Let's go to Display Settings. Yeah, don't want. I wish it wouldn't always default to 4K.
I've got David Graham saying, do it, do it.
Where are we?
Oh, you can't, you're not on the right camera, is it?
I definitely want to be more than 30 Hertz.
Hey Dave. I've got O-tools.
That's better, it's a bit smoother. Right, so Device Manager isn't looking too terrible.
Easy.
Multimedia controller, so that's going to be over the onboard Wi-Fi, I think. We've got network adapters. No, so multimedia controller. I wonder what that is then. Display adapter. Anyway, it seems to be running. Let's see what the temps are like. That's the most important thing. That's what we want to see. Whether or not I need to start crying now. Oh, look at the... wow. Display driver is not happy. Right, let's go to the top. Where have we got? Can anyone see that? That's way too small for me. Whoa, that's pretty good. 29 degrees. Holy crap. Only 6 watts as well. Mother thingy. That's pretty good. And we've oh, that's what the other driver, isn't it? Multimedia controller is probably the MPU.
D125 scaling.
125 scaling.
Do you need to install adrenaline drivers?
Yeah, definitely need. I think it does need AMD drivers. What did I search for before? Ninja Creamy Swirl Ice Cream. Nice. AMD drivers.
Try Happy Driver Installer Origin.
I would do if it didn't. Most of the stuff on here is going to be in the latest driver pack. If it was an older motherboard that didn't have a, well, I was going to say that didn't have a great deal of support, I probably would do, but I think we should be fine. Let's do the scaling. Let's do 150. Hopefully you can read it now. So yeah, whatever. Next, install. Right, let's do that for a minute. Let's go back to main camera and see what you guys and girls are saying. AMD audio, yeah, it could be actually HDMI audio AMD. Mike is having a few sneaky gulps of booze off camera, methinks. I'm not, unfortunately. I should do, that'd be good. Micro soft. There you go. David says, Aletta, I am so old I remember when PCs had VGA cards, which were considered state of the art. Mark Gaines coming with a super chat at £20. Thank you very much, Mr. Gaines. But, oh, I'm using the wrong bloody mouse now. Got too many mices. Let's click on there, thank you. And it says, Mike, what motherboard manufacturers do back connect boards apart from MSI? I'm looking to do a new build. So MSI, you can search MSI boards easily actually for the ones that are back connect. They will have the PZ or Project Zero suffix in the model name. If you look for ASUS ones, look for BTF or back to front or back to the future. I like to call it back to front. I think that makes more sense. So ASUS BTF, they do a few, not a huge amount, and Gigabyte have got a couple apparently as well. ASRock are allegedly in the process, but I don't think they do any as of yet. MSI are about to release a bunch of new B850 boards, one of which is going to be the new MSI B850 Gaming Plus BTF or PTZ or whatever it is. So that actually might be one worth looking for. So that's going to be a full-size ATX AMD AM5 board with rear connect and should be relatively budget, around about 150 to 180 pounds, which for a B850 board is, for like release price, is pretty good. So it'd be interesting to see what that comes out for. Hopefully that answers your question somewhat, Mark. Sir Larry the Cat says, is there an AAF version? Arse about face. No doubt there will be at some point. Right, let's go back to the thing. Oh, installation is complete. Good. It didn't ask me about chipset, so let's see if the oh, so yeah, it seems to have cleared that up nicely. See processors, loads of processors. Quick setup, we'll choose default. Start gaming. And let's do a well, we've got our program here to monitor the temperatures. What's our maximum temperature at the moment? I can't even see. So we've got up to 61 degrees, which is kind of expected. I'm going to attempt to run Cinebench, which probably isn't even on here. Oh, yeah, it is. This will be funny. It's going to thermal throttle almost instantly. But that's all part of the fun. And we'll get rid of the NSI installer. We don't want that right now. We'll click on start. And we'll have our little overlay. And let's see what we get to. So almost instantly thermal throttling and rocketed straight up to 84 degrees Celsius. Which isn't bad actually. I thought it would go higher than that. I thought we'd go up to like the 95. So yeah, actually that's doing remarkably well considering. We're at 4.7-ish gigahertz, which for an all-core boost I think actually is okay. 88, 89, so yeah, it's struggling with the temps there. And it would be nice, I suppose, if I actually put the fan facing inward, try and cool things down. Yep, there we go, 90. There. It's gradually 91. Although realistically it's not designed for Cinebench, is it? And what do we get score-wise? 13272. Yeah, I don't think that's too bad. It survived, it didn't crash, and it didn't thermal throttle. And I can't imagine there'd be many loads that I'm going to be running much like that anyway. Happy days. There's Dom's come in with a £10 super chat. Thank you very much for that. Just jumping in to say hi. Oh, wrong mouse. Let's click on there. Oh God. Oh, I can't see what it's saying. Oh, this bloody thing. Right. Just jumping in to say hello to all. Seems a bit low number near the like button. So guys, it doesn't cost you anything. Click on the like button. I agree. Good idea. Yeah. You should definitely do that. Thanks for dropping in, Dom, and thanks for the super chat. That is very kind of you. Much appreciated. Ordinary Dude says, your cooling is still not right. What, my cooling? High can the cooler be in this case? Oh, how high? Right, in this case, I think the maximum was about 55 to 60 millimeters, but that would be right up against the power supply. So I went with a 47, so there was kind of like about a 10 mil or so gap between the power supply and the top of the cooler, so it can actually pull in a little bit of air. It's not the ideal setup, to be fair. Could have done with doing something maybe even a little bit lower profile, or possibly a slightly different design. It's hard to see in there really with what was going on, but there's probably about a 20 mil gap. So I could get one in there possibly a little bit higher. I think changing the fan would be probably one of the more beneficial things to do, because the fan which is in there on the cooler itself is one of a slimline one, so it really doesn't scoop in the air as much as it could do, and there's enough room to put a 25 mil fan on there rather than the kind of slimline 10 or 15 which is on there. So that would make a pretty good difference.
Was that Dutch John's low profile cooler? There was still enough room in the case. That is the same sort of question. So yeah, the low profile cooler is because there isn't enough room in the case. If I can try, it's difficult for me to show you, but I don't know if you can see in from that angle. Yeah, you can. So there's about kind of like maybe a finger width between the CPU fan and the power supply, which isn't a great deal. So you've got another few millimeters you could add. Because of where the power supply is, if I could redesign the case, I would have probably made it
either a little bit higher or a little bit wider. So I could put the power supply either above or below. Probably below would be better, but then you lose the ability. The thing is, with this case, it was designed with kind of almost a pretty specific goal, and that was to be able to use the smallest graphics card possible in a smallest ITX enclosure possible. And because of that, there are obviously some things which kind of you just can't do. So I guess that's the whole beauty of it. If you are someone who's good with kind of designing these things in 3D printers, you can tweak it to make it work how you want to. So I would probably, if I was to design it again, yeah, I would definitely go like about that much higher and put an ATX power supply on the top, because the extra height wouldn't really make a great deal of difference, but it would give you a lot more flexibility, and maybe add another, maybe an inch to the bottom, so you can put a bigger graphics card in, and maybe another inch or so forward. So different case.
Chris Hartford downwards, I've got it for you.
All right. Chris Hartford, how much was the motherboard, Mike? It was on AliExpress. The links are in the video description for the current price. Without looking at my records, I would be hard pressed to say, but I'm pretty sure it was, I think it might have been £90. In fact, I can find out, I think. Bear with, oh, it's the wrong mouse again. I'll have a look. Ordinary Dude says, look into the ID Cooling IS55. Okay. That sounds like a plan. I have got the classic 100, but that's way too big for it. Let me see, right. That's not keyboard, Ali. Express. Oh, actually, am I signed in on this account? I don't know if I am. Sign in. No, I'm not signed in here, so I cannot show you that currently. I'm pretty sure it was about £90, maybe £95 with taxes. It was definitely, it was under £100, I'm sure. It might have been, no, I'd have to look on the system. But yeah, it was cheap. My brain.
Why? And then Dutch John said, PSU in a different place.
Yeah, because like I said, this is because of the way that the little PC case is designed. There isn't really that much you can change. Although, yeah, saying that, if you added on about another 2 inches to the top and had the SFX power supply mounted horizontally across there to give you full width for the CPU cooler, that might be very cool actually. And that wouldn't need too much tweaking. Maker Unit, if you're in the chat still, can you do that? Can you add about 2 inches of height and then have it so the power supply for SFX can go on the top, giving full access to the cooler? That would then be awesome, because you could use pretty much any CPU cooler you wanted to, within reason. You wouldn't get like a 120mm tower cooler in there, but yeah, for some decent sized downdraft coolers on there would be awesome. Anyway, I think I've achieved everything that I'm likely to ever achieve in my life for the foreseeable. I really should actually. I do like this. The magnetic fan design is great. I was going to connect up my front panel connectors. I should look at the manual to see which button is which, or which connection is which, so I get it right. Of course, there wasn't a user manual, was there? Or was there? There was. Yeah, I'm going to have to
I'm going to have to play with that. We'll see. Anyway, I've got work tomorrow in the shop, so I better wrap things up. So if you've got any last minute questions, feel free to slap in the chat right now. But otherwise, we will wrap this up. And what's the weather like? Is it any colder? No, it's still 3 degrees. Lovely. Very chilly. It's quite warm in here though. 24 degrees, getting warmer. Humidity at 52%, which is pretty nice. Mookie says, I think the added height would restrict the number of 3D printers that could be used. The build plate would not be big enough. Well, that's the clever thing that Maker Unit has done with pretty much all of his case designs, is he uses a join-in bar. So the panels are all individual, so like the ATX PC cases did, can still be done on a A1 Mini. You just print out 4 individual sheets and it kind of all goes together. And there we go, Chrome has crashed, yay! Send feedback. Yeah, you suck. Is that loaded? Yeah, there we go. That's happened sooner or later. Alessa's off, she's going off to cook dinner. Awesome stuff. Right. Yep, I think that is going to wrap things up for this evening. Hopefully you've enjoyed the stream. If you haven't already, smash the like button if you want to see this sort of content on a daily basis. Make sure to hit subscribe and all that usual YouTube stuff. Don't forget you can also support us in other ways by using the links in the chat. So premiumcdkeys.com/Mike's Unboxing for the cheapest CD keys I've seen ever anywhere, and reliable as well. Also, our Discord link is in there, and also if you want to get yourself a mouse mat, desk pad, then you can go over to Technically Stable and order a custom mouse mat. I think that is it. I've been Mike. Oh, hang on. David Andrew says, thoughts and prayers for me for my hand operation on Wednesday. Skin cancer removal. Ooh, good luck. Hopefully that goes well, and hopefully it isn't too uncomfortable. Yep. That's it. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching, and have a fantastic rest of your weekend. And hopefully this button will work. You never know, it might do. Cheers, everybody. Bye.